I don't know how to start this. LARPing is a thing on the internet. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel correct. What should I say instead? LARPing happens sometimes. What the fuck should I say? I missed this segment yesterday. So somebody said this to me. I don't even know what to say about it, because I don't know anything about it. But I read like a little bit, and I just want to show you guys because it's actually pretty fucking interesting. This is calculatedsurvival.com, and I don't know a fucking thing about it. Okay, but we're gonna learn. We're gonna hang out with it, and we're gonna watch, and we're gonna learn. They got these runes here, so hopefully they're not like racist or anything. This has a vaguely AI feel to it. I don't know what any of these mean. I don't know if they know what they mean. This is just gibberish, and then we have, some actual stuff here. I don't know why the U's look like N's. But they sell stuff. This is a Squarespace site. I'll tell you that right now. I know Squarespace sites, like by heart can feel them. This shop button, I've seen it before. And they sell shit, right? Calculated survival Norse throwing hatchet with glass-filled nylon handle. That is such an interesting thing to say. Why is it filled with glass? Those are Futhark runes? Okay. I don't even know what that means. So this is on sale right now if you guys want it. Why does it have glass in the handle? I haven't looked at any of this. Glass-filled nylon handle. The patented calculated survival Norse throwing hatchet is our bearded blade with a piercing spike on the opposite side. While it does not have a second hatchet head, it does have the ability to stick on the reverse side. Our hatchets are made out of 8CR14 MOV stainless steel. How good is that? How good is this stainless steel? Knife basics. Other knife steels. What's the major difference between that kind of steel and D2 steel is that this is stainless steel while D2 steel is regarded as semi-stainless. 8CR14 MOV thus majorly outshines it in corrosion and stain resistance. D2 steel, on the other hand, is better than this in edge retention and wear resistance. It does this as it contains a higher percentage of carbon in its alloy in the composition. 8CR14 mauve steel is softer than D2 steel, offers better toughness, and is less likely to chip or break under tough applications. The higher toughness of it is comparable to AUS 8 steel and Venatus 8 steel. They're Chinese steel, almost identical in chemical compensation, have the same hardness, sharpness, toughness, and wear resistance. Oh, 14. What is this one? This one's 14. Yeah, they're Chinese steel. However, 14 contains more chromium, hence it has better corrosion resistance than 18 chromium, 13 move steel. It's Chinese steel, while AUS 8 is Japanese. Is a good knife steel. It's good knife steel in the low budget category. It offers balance, hardness, toughness. Because I know like 140, it's like 144 is like surgical grade. That's what the Cutco knives are, and they never go bad. Low pricing might lure you into thinking that they're low quality, but you'll be surprised that they'll serve you efficiently for a long time. However, do not subject them to the pressure and tough application as you would knives made from high-end steels. So, is it good? Is probably not great for throwing into stuff. Aren't people supposed to buy high carbon steel? Like, stainless is fine for certain applications. You want stainless for stuff that's going to be like wet. Like if you're going to be dressing stuff, but you want high carbon for stuff that's going to stain. Like high carbon's only drawback because it's always high carbon is stronger. Like, yeah, it'll chip, right? But like also that's because it's harder. So like, you're not fucking chipping any goddamn fucking high carbon steel. Do you know what I mean? Like, and if it can rust and stuff, that's what, just take care of it. You know what I mean? So just clean the fucking thing. Stainless steel tends to be a little bit softer in my mind, which is why I was just double checking this. Like, when you can choose between stainless steel or carbon steel spatulas for the walls, I always go with carbon steel because the stainless steel ones are like really flexile and they have a soft, they feel really soft. They don't scrape very good. Good knife steel, however, does not equate to good axe steel. It's genuine Chinese made, not a bearded Norse axe thing. The size of the blade has a big impact on what steel you want. Well, like, oh, dude, the fucking knife nerds are getting into it. They're getting into it. The U should look like V's. Pure Nordic runes. So let's see. Come with a glass-filled nylon handle. They're only available through Calculated Survival or at select axe-throwing arenas. Check out our videos and photos that demonstrate its extreme effectiveness in hitting and sticking to the target. We sell replacement glass-filled nylon handles. Why is it glass-filled? What does this mean? Make sure to get them in a timely manner. The Norse throwing hatchet handle comes with the handle plus 3 screws. I don't like that. To replace your handle, simply unscrew the 3 screws from the hatchet head and remove the existing handle. Then slide the new handle onto the hatchet head and put the screws back. Oh, this thing's falling apart. Fit great. There's no way this doesn't fall the fuck apart. That's not how you make an axe head. Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't even look at the actual build. Oh, that's no good, right? You're supposed to put, for axes, any hand tool, any impact hand tool, you don't want the impact to hit a fastener. You want the impact to hit the handle. So usually with hand tools, if it goes into the handle, you want the tang to go the length of the thing, which you don't want to do for something because this is going to be a bunch of metal. So usually put the handle up through the head of whatever you're making. So like you can just go buy a hatchet. You can buy a hatchet and then fucking throw it, and it's a throwing hatchet from fucking, Lowe's. And that shit isn't falling apart. You can hork that motherfucker. Whop, whop, whop. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's fine for some other sort of application, but the reason is because when you hit something with a hatchet head, right? Why is it curved like that? Is that? I feel like I know like that's a bearded axe. It's supposed to be, but isn't the curve supposed to be more perpendicular to this? I don't know. Not my thing. What a strange thing. The more I look at it, what about throwing hatchets? But yeah, you want the impact to hit the material of the handle because the material of the handle is gonna be like that thick. If you have the metal going into the handle and then you have 3 just pieces of metal and then the handle, there's a series of more stress points, right? Because the handle itself is a big lump inside the metal. All of that's going to absorb. So in this case, it's just 3 little screws are going to catch it. And every time you hit it, if you don't hit it perfectly, there's rotation. Even if you don't see it, there's going to be rotation. You know what I mean? In the axe head. So like parts of them are going to be leveraged harder. And so you'll explode the thing more quicker. In my mind, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Glass fill is a way to make polymer stronger. Do industry people here know? I have no idea. Finest railroad spike, high carbon steel, 10 or better. Arg. Half this chat right now. I mean, I go fucking. Isn't it like a railroad spike kind of like a based way to make a fucking anything? I always thought that was kind of cool when people do the like the spikes. I don't know. This just looks like trash though, isn't it? I mean, I don't know why you would buy it. Unless you want to have it, I mean, support this guy, I guess. He looks like a sweetheart, right? He's not crazy. Is a throwing hatchet a survival tool? I mean, maybe if you're really good with it. if you have to survive somewhere with really stupid animals, probably a throwing hatchet's pretty fucking great. Throwing hatchets. Chicago Tribune's 5 best hatchets. They all look a lot different than this. Gerber, Gerber's probably got a pretty decently overpriced one. Fisker's always got some shit going on. I got a bunch of Fiskars shit. But it's like always one-time use. Wood hatchets with a proprietary shock absorbing. Wakeman. This is probably the closest. Camping head on Amazon. Like, this is the closest, like, other deal. I guess if you have the thing on the spikes on the other side, but this is like a camping hatchet. You see how it goes through the middle there? And it's kind of like fused in. Even that's not like maybe the best, but that looks pretty fucking sturdy. It goes all the way through, and all this material right here is like taking it a hit. I think this maybe gets buried in this or something. I don't know. This is Chicago Tribune's recommendations. Who knows? Is that a little flint striker there in the handle of this? So this is like a little survival deal. This is $25. Do you know what I mean? You know, people will be throwing it. Every hatchet's a throwing hatchet if you can throw it. I don't know. Maybe those ones are like pro grade or some shit. This thing just looks kind of like boogers. I don't know why it's good. What a strange little thing. I can't stay stuck on this. 3-day assault pack rucksack for $22. What? There's no way. Water resistant backpack carrying at least 35 pounds in it 5 times a week. Through our testing, it is stuck out from the competition with regards to its durability. And with its modular MOLLE webbing, you can do anything. I need to see what is it framed at all? Where's show you got nope, don't ever buy that. Don't ever buy anything. Don't ever buy a pack where you can't see the back of it. That's no good. Am I missing a picture? What is going on here? So a backpack, especially any high capacity backpack, high weight backpack, you always want to see the other side. If it doesn't have a hip grabber, don't even bother with it, because fuck that shit. A day pack that you can't attach to your hips is just going to eat your shoulders alive. I know, because I had to carry them with ammo in it in combat. That shit fucking sucks. Goddamn heavy as shit. So any ruck, all rucks, you should always check the frame. So ruck frame. It's just always a thing. You always want to see if anybody sells you a backpack, any sort of backpack at all, outside of a fucking JanSport, you always want to see these, right? See these frames. A lot of them, if they're not on the outside and attached so you can take it off, they'll be built into it. So these pieces will actually be in the padding on the back. Even the old ones, like here's old fucking Weldis, like Alice Pack welded. This is like Alice Pack fucking thing, both little side pieces. These cummerbunds or belts are the most important fucking part of it. If you can't get your fucking ruck to wrap around your hips, you're gonna be eaten alive. You do not want to carry I'm telling you right now, anyone that disagrees with me is a fucking madman. Because I'm telling you right now, I've done hikes. Unless you are a fucking professional walker-arounder that can out-walker-arounder Marines who just literally wander places despite having access to vehicles, you're not fucking out-talking me. You put one of these on, it attaches to this frame, and then you never really use the shoulder straps. They're there, but the shoulder straps are to hold the shoulders from letting the top of the pack fall backwards. This wraps around your hips and puts all of the weight on your hips, which is where weight is supposed to go. Your shoulders are for maneuvering your arms, and it just kind of is like a novelty that you can hang stuff off of them. You actually don't want to do that, except for things that weigh next to nothing, like clothing. If you put a backpack on and let that backpack sit on your shoulders, you're going to fucking die. You will die, and you will hurt for days afterward. Ask somebody that's hiked if they've had their cummerbund go out and they had serious, I'm talking about real weight, walking around with like 10, 15 pounds on. I'm talking about real weight, 40, 50, 80 pounds in a ruck, a fully loaded infantry ruck, and then also like fucking flak jacket on top of it. If you let that sit on your shoulders, you'll have like a migraine headache for days afterwards as your fucking neck muscles try to like adapt to the fact that you just goddamn got worn the fuck out. It is horrible. Survival gear that doesn't even meet a weekend camper stress test. Maybe specifically only that, but even then. I assume you want it weighted differently than a chopping. Oh, look at this little guy. By the way, if you guys want to donate, my rabbit is right here, hanging out. He's a snoofer and a sniffer, a poofer and a piffer. When he finds his litter box, he's sometimes a little pisser. Spencer's Wonderful World of Shenanigans. My favorite blade has got to be the Hori Hori knife. I use it in my garden all the time. It has everything. Is that the one with the curve in it? Oh, that's a bunny butt. Look at him. He's chilling out. Yeah. These are cool. Right? Spade knife. I don't know if this is a good one. Can I get one that doesn't look stupid as shit? Yeah. Some of these are low value. These are like a good utility knife. It's not even really almost a knife, right? And I mean, actually do shopping. None of this is an advertisement, but this is what the person's talking about. It's basically like a mix of a small trowel shovel, right? So it's got the shovel, and then usually they have a little bit of this and that on the side. Serrated, flat edge cut, and sometimes the tip of it's pretty sharp as well. And it just helps you kind of do a lot of garden stuff. These are pretty solid, like, general survival knives. There's a lot you can do with them, from what I understand. I don't fuck with that shit. I don't do survival. I already survived. Understand that. If I ever talk about survival stuff and it's like, Tyler, you're outdated, it's like, yeah, because I made it and now I don't do that anymore because it's actually fucking stupid. It's stupid to do. I don't, and throwing at you isn't a real thing. I mean, it probably is in a specific context, but I feel like it's got to be like really good. You know, like a throwing knife. But who knows? Molly. This is in the back. This is a Molly frame. From big military surplus. This is what's in the back of the packs that I had to carry when I was in the infantry. And it's this gigantic plastic thing. This is built into the pads on the back of the system. So this never actually touches you, but you need this reinforcement. The other reason, by the way, other than just the hip pads, you need this reinforcement to keep the bag from bending. If you've ever had a backpack on and like it starts curving, you don't want that to happen. Your weight needs to go straight down onto your hips. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. If you let that lay on your shoulders, you're going to have a bad time. So the bags will bend and stuff, or things will actually push through the bag or the rock or whatever into your back. And so having stuff like this and then a nice, really dense chunk of plastic and padding and stuff on the back of it keeps it so that if you have something shift around, it doesn't like poke you while you're on a hike. Because if you have to start taking stuff apart, you're stupid. Let me see. Can we see the whole Molly pouch? Well, this is just a Molly. Molly pack. No. Nope. But already you can kind of see this. This is a patrol pack. So this is like a detachable. This is not what ours look like. But you see how you can start seeing the back of it? And it shows you already in just these pictures. Because they want you to see, yeah, they give you the whole back. That's the most important part. The bag part doesn't fucking matter at all. I mean, you want it to be sturdy and shit, but look how many more pictures they have on the surplus site. There you go. Airborne field pack. Not quite mine. But this is pretty close. Mine just looks different. Ours were a tan. Look at this this is a fucking pack, dude. This is what they look like. All of this is modularity. These straps on the side are called Molly. This is basically like those Picatinny rails you see on guns. It's the same thing, but for like packs and like armor and shit. You have this on there and you can strap all these different little things to it. Usually you'll have a sleeping roll on this side or the other side, depending on how you set it up, and this shit will all be strapped. This is a big flap on top. It doesn't even have a zipper because real ones don't even have zippers because zippers break. Every zipper is going to break. Understand that, by the way, if you're buying a pack for long-term use, any pack that has a zipper on it is a backup for shit that doesn't matter because every zipper breaks. Every zipper breaks. There is no unbreakable zipper. Zippers break. They're designed to break. So the tops of these, actually, the sides don't open up. The top of this is a drawstring that doesn't hold any weight. So you just get it in there, strap it in, and then you have these straps go over the top, right, from the front, and then you compress it down and then pull these tight as fuck. Shoop, 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 and get it. That frame that's up here, you can actually see the curve in it, keeps it from falling apart. And this isn't even the full infantry big one. That might be why it's airborne. This doesn't even have big pads on it. This has got small ones. Let me just see fucking... USMC Molly Ruck. Shop backpack, Marine Corps backpack. Nope. Those are day packs. Horrible day pack, uglier day pack. Hey! Where is it? Surplus more. There's a day pack. These things fucking suck. Sorry, I know you can't see this right now, but I'm not even bothering trying to show you. Damn, they didn't even sell these motherfuckers at all. USMC Molly bag. Recon assault bag. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. And it's just a fucking day pack. Somebody's fucking day pack. God damn. Dude, these rucks are really expensive. The good ones are not cheap. I can't even find one on Surplus. Use multicam. Molly bag. I'm not calling it the wrong thing, am I? What the fuck? Okay, hold on. OIF USMC backpack. The Marines have a bad habit of calling shit the wrong thing. There we go. That's there she is. That's my old fucking girlfriend, basically. This motherfucker right here. Where did you just go? Right there. Boink. What'd you new tab? This fucking thing. This, they always look like this. This is the fucking ruck. Do you see that gigantic fucking pad right there? Look how big it is. That is the pad that I'm talking about, right? You see it sitting on his hips? Because that keeps it from fucking, like, falling off, basically. You got all these. This must be a slightly updated one. You got some nice, like, zipper pulls and shit in there. These are for expanding it. But this top piece, you see how it's pulled down over that? This has a zipper on it, and this is its own little bag, and this whole thing can actually come off. But then you strap it down and cinch it. They always look crookedy and shitty like this because you fucking amp the fuck down on trying to get them closed up. There you go. Oh, yeah, look at this miserable fuck. Oh, yeah. Yeah, eat shit, fucking 51s. Look at him. Ha ha. Oh, I wanted to be an assaultman. Get fucked, bro. Look at you carrying that shit. He's probably in after me. God, that's fucking miserable. Look at the size of these fucking things. Ah, I hate it. Anyone that thinks this looks cool is a fucking moron. This shit sucks. I was like this guy. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers, anyone that sees this is like, wow, these guys look fucking cool. Look at his face. Look at this dude's face. Actually, no, this guy's even better. Look at this guy's face. I fucking hate this. This sucks. Fucking miserable shit. Who is this? This is like the fucking XO or something too. God damn, that's funny. I don't know why we got off on that subject like that, but I just wanted to show you how important backpack stuff is. These don't have it. These are like day packs at best. But you put like a lunch or something in it, but you don't want to go hiking with this. Especially if they don't have big ass fucking frames in them. And they should be showing that. So I guess if they watch it, they should just show that in the thing. $22 pack? That's crazy. Hey, well done, Ribeye. Super chat at $5. $5 to help convince Tyler to start a third channel for knives, guns, and survival gear? Maybe. The fuck are those? Mortars? Those look like small rounds. I'm not going to bother bringing them back up. Mortars aren't carried like that. Mortars are in like little cases. Right? Mortars are stupid. Mortars look like darts almost. That's not. What do they really look like? Mortars are like bowling pins, kind of, is the best way to describe them, except for imagine the bottom of the bowling pin's the explosive part. There's not a really great way to carry them, and they're not that big. Like the biggest mortar, like the 86, is like a lump like this, right? Because it's just all of its own bullet, but you have to carry them around in the case because they come with these little donuts with a hole in the end, right? They're like C-shape, and those are powder charges. So you have to carry them with all that stuff together. They come in like cases and cans. Yeah, most mortarmen only carry their own shit and maybe some of those. But if they were carrying a mobile mortar system, it would look like a black, or not black necessarily, but like a green or black tube. About that thick, 64 millimeters, right? I think, yeah, then the 81 and then there's the 60. So 40 is here, and so 60 is like right there. So it's like that big, about yay-ish. long, right? And there will be, you always see it, anybody that's a mortar guy will have that like usually on the side of his pack, and it'll be him or a dude behind him will have a big circular metal ring thing on his pack or underneath it, sort of like kind of like jammed in there in a special way. And that's the firing base. You need those two things. You always see those. Those with those yellow stripes on them and those little warhead looking type deals on the top, those are disposable rocket chunks, more than likely for a fucking small or something else. I don't know. You don't see a lot of small rounds. I didn't during OIF because you never use the fucking thing. Like I knew a bunch of guys who were 51s. Once we got, I mean, obviously because those were fucking weapons, but like once we got deployed, everybody just got switched over to being an 11. So you didn't carry those around. And the small is a finicky, fucking weird shooting cunt of a fucking weapon. So if you're gonna shoot anything that's anti-tank, you're just gonna have an AT4. And if you wanted to shoot a rocket in general, you're just going to have a law, which is just infinitely easier to use, cheaper, and not big as shit like that is. LMAO 3-day assault. Yeah, 3-day assault pack. I know, right? 3-day assault on living in a fucking in a red roof inn. I don't know where you're going to put your sleeping stuff. The reason that other bag is big, that big one that I showed you before, the Marine one, the bottom third of that thing at any given time, well, it should be the top third, but like the guaranteed third, if you have that pack on you, is going to be your sleeping roll. Your whole sleeping system is going to be in there, which never comes apart. People try to strip down their sleeping system. They always get in trouble, or they successfully do it, and then you're like me, and you get stuck out on the coldest night of of like June for some reason, and it gets down to like 38 degrees, and you're just shivering in your external fucking whatever they call that. I can't remember the name of that anymore. Whatever the jacket material is. Anybody that's in the military knows. The shell. I brought the shell liner, the cami shell liner, and that's it. I put everything else in. But it's a 4-stage sleeping system. 4, right? You have, okay, there's 4 pieces. It's your bag. The bag it goes in. You have your green inner liner, your black outer liner that's for super hot, and then your super outer liner, which is not really for anything. It's I can't fucking remember what the hell it's called, but it's really, really thin, and that's for weather resistance and stuff. The internal ones are to keep you warm, and they all stack to in case it's cold. I don't think I've used the black one, but like twice, and I never did a full stack. I don't think I ever had to. It got cold enough somewhere where I was sleeping with green, black, and the fucking exterior. Maybe once in SOI or twice. It's possible, but like, they're very, very hot. And that whole lump together, maximally compressed, is still this fucking big. And you have to jam that in there. It's usually on the top of your pack for a hump. And then for the rest of the time you'll be out there, it'll be on the back. And then you repack your pack before you go on a big-ass long hike again. Everything else is going to be your clothes. Any other types of shit you have to bring with you. So you might have to pack like, random stuff for your job, spare magazines that you won't ever end up loading, stupid bullshit. Okay. Just stupid bullshit will be in that fucking pack. Mostly it's going to be your clothes and your sleeping system. And that's why it's so fucking big, because all of the stuff that you need to not die actually takes up a fuck ton of room. If you ever look at your bedroom ever again, think of all the stuff that you need to go to bed in the night, and then the things that you would need for 3 days. And then understand that if you go walk out into the fucking wilderness, you're not going to have any of it. So it's all strapped onto the outside of there. You'll have your cleaning stuff, toothbrushing shit. All your food is going to be in that fucking bag. Everything is going to be in that bag. So you need a lot of bag, and it needs to be strong as shit, and you got to carry it. 3 days is not a fucking day pack. That's why it's called a day pack. That's why I called these day packs. You probably heard me say that a bunch of times. And I wasn't even thinking about it. It's because it's for a day, literally not even to the end of the night. The day pack goes on the back of that Molly pack and has its own shit in it. So when you lift that thing up, you got to be able to do a toss, because you toss it all the way up over your head and it goes plump over your arms while you're wearing a flak jacket and a fucking gun of some sort, usually a rifle at least. Flip, flip, chest clip, and then you do a little breathe out, plop, lean forward, clip that shit, and then you cinch it down on your hips as tight as it can go to make sure that, and if it rolls back and you feel a touch of pressure from them shoulder straps, you have to just restart. Just drop the whole thing, let it down. And then once you got that like that, then you do a hup, 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 and then you strap it down. And the straps don't hold it up. by touching down on your shoulders. They hold it up by attaching it to your chest, right? They actually, the straps that are on your chest, on your shoulders, push it to your chest. And then that like pulls it forward over your hips so that you're always kind of like this. You actually walk around like Donald Trump. You know how Donald Trump walks around? He looks like he's always on a 24-mile. Like, come on, here we go, guys. Look, we're going to do the 15-minute stop. I'm not stopping. I'm not putting anything down. I'm not doing it. I'm comfortable. You know, it is what it is. And then the rest of the time you walk like this with your hands trying to keep that shit off your shoulders. Because if you let it touch even a bit, and you're like, oh, that's just like a little, you'll get done and you won't be able to move your fucking arms because it kicks the shit out of them. Your shoulders are not meant to carry weight. You don't know this, but they are not. You ever seen the masculine beat? Gore-Tex, a pair of boots I have Gore-Tex liner. Gore-Tex is the word. Fucking like core memory unlocked. God damn. This is Tyler, my favorite leftist streamer, proceeds to talk about outdoorsman activities. I wonder how toxic Gore-Tex is. In the grand scheme of other shit that you come across in the military, probably not anywhere near as bad. It seems to be pretty solid. I mean, I'm assuming you mean when it catches on fire. I don't know. Everything's Gore-Tex lined, which I don't know what Gore-Tex is. I have no idea, but it's all this stuff. It's scratchy. Noise. It's the noise makingest ass shit that you have, basically, and it's kind of like the outside of everything that's not rip stop. There's a phrase you don't hear outside of the military and outside of like FUD circles. Rip stop. You got rip stop fabric. That's rip stop. What is that? Oh, it's rip stop fabric. What does it do? It fucking rips. Then you stop using it. Oh my God. The one he sat on the camera at this point, he is, right? It's not too dirty or anything in here. Look at him. Just look at this little shit. Look at him. Look at him. This is what he's doing right now. Oh, come on. You can't even see him. Hold on, let me see if this light will help. He's not bright enough. He refuses to be identified. He's in there. He's in there. That's his Doritos box with his camera in it. He's sitting half in and half out of it, mocking all of you, saying, oh, you want a bunny cam? You can have the bunny cam, but the bunny will not be bunnying. Get fucking dunked on. Ripstop canvas. It's so hot and doesn't breathe, dude. Yes. George Gore-Tex Costanza. Yeah, actually the inventor of Gore-Tex. Old Georgie Gore-Tex Costanza. So this is the About Us story for this thing. Our story begins with 6 people from different walks of life coming together for some drinks and light conversation. We had an Army Ranger, a mechanical engineer, a survivalist, I don't even know what that means, a biomedical engineer, a cop, and a NASA graybeard. So you had no one that knows what the fuck they're doing. Army fucking Rangers. Army Rangers are like, we have Marines at home. For like basic standard infantry. Army Rangers lead the way. And then the Marines are already there. Marines go out and fucking start building structures and shit. You leave fucking infantry Marines alone in a field for too long, they will start like building civilization like sea monkeys in that fucking one South Park episode. I don't know. Yes, we said a NASA graybeard. What everyone had in common was their love of outdoor exploration, the wild, and survival. Most of us also love rum. Okay, so a bunch of drunk fucking old retirees. As the night went on and the bottle grew lighter, the survivalist asked the ranger what his survival tool of choice was. A radio to call the Marines. The engineers asked the survivalist what the biggest challenges were in the wild. The cop told stories of people lost, people found, and people not found. The cop's over here useless as shit. The cop, I like that after the people were talking to each other, the cop just starts like, I don't know if you guys know this, but sometimes they just disappear. Sometimes they just disappear. We can't find them. I love this. Oh my God. The NASA graybeard offered sage advice. About what? What the fuck would a NASA person know? You're in space. It's like the one place I'm not. Well, actually, we're all in space. Shut the fuck up, Neil deGrasse Tyson, you cunt fucking bastard. You know what I mean? I know you know what I mean, Neil deGrasse. Shut the fuck up. I'm talking about going out where the fucking wild things are and not freezing to death. We already figured that out, okay? Do you know what I would take over a 500 NASA graybeard? I would let every person in NASA die to survive outside, passed over one fucking, like, mid-tier Boy Scout. NASA motherfuckers gonna be out there like, did you know that the surface of Mars is actually much colder than the world, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, my little fucking Boy Scout's gonna be like, I got my fucking surviving everything merit badge. I got here when my church project was learning how to start civilization from scratch with 2 matchsticks and a hatchet. I happen to have a whole box of matches, so we're ahead of the curve. Yeah, you little fucking nerd. Talk less. Do more lashing. All right, I want to see you do all this stuff. What did the NASA guy bring? A pocket protector and 800 lectures. I don't give a fuck. What did this little rat fuck 15-year-old fucking Boy Scout bring? For some reason, 800 bundles of 550 cord and enough hemp rope to lash together the entirety of a pirate ship. Like, what are you doing, little Boy Scout guy? Well, I'm just throwing together a watchtower real quick. I really like playing Sons of the Island, even though it seems like it's for adults. And I really wanted to improve on some of the builds that I saw in that game. It's like Minecraft in real life, but I like to say it's like Kinects in real life. All right, I think I told you to stop talking as much, but like, I like what you're up to. This little fucking kid out here, like, this is a clove hitch. These are called fraps. This little motherfucker, like 15 feet in the air. Well, did you know that hemp cord was invented in 1820? Like, no, shut the fuck up, NASA. Your job is how about this, NASA? You go out there and find flint, okay? So we can spark a fire. No, shut up, little Boy Scout. Shut up. You're going to find flint. Actually, you know what? I don't even trust you with that. There's a bird, NASA guy. This is our real mission. There's a bird out there. It's called a snipe. And I need you to go find it. You need to go find the snipe because it's going to show us the way home. It's a big white bird. You can't miss it. I saw like 2 of them on the way in here. It's going to be on the top of one of these trees or it'll be down in some of the mud puddles. Sometimes you got to get down where it's really wet and look around. Big ass, giant fucking white bird. Like the size of a trash can. You can't miss it. I know if you haven't seen it on the way in, don't worry. I'm going to teach you how to find it. Okay, go NASA guy. You're going to go find the snipe, all right? Survivalist is probably some dude with an off-grid weekend hut on his ranch. They're a bunch of... This is like got passport bros written all over it. They're bringing their throwing hatchets to Thailand. The NASA Graybeard offered sage advice. What transpired that night was a culmination of knowledge, education, and experience, which came together to form a company designed to help save lives. Like Coleman and fucking the Swiss Army company don't fucking already, like, Coleman exists. I really can't hammer that home. I'm pretty sure the Coleman family of products is probably still solid, right? If these guys didn't get together and make a better, like, white fuel light, then I don't need to hear from you. Like, if you don't know what a Coleman lantern is, I'm good. What did you think that we needed to survive? Well, the NASA guy said fucking, I don't know, how about a plastic fucking throwing hatchet? That sounds great, bro. Oh, my God. Tyler, will you please look at their whiskey cup? Absolutely. There's no way these guys don't have a bunch of drinking stuff. We seek to do this through education, innovative projects, and motivation to survive in any of life's situations. At the end of the night, calculated survival is born and our story unfolds. Our logo is an axe, crossed with a torch, encircled by the Norse compass. You should have used our compass. Coleman. I think Coleman legitimately has some logo that has just a compass on it. Like, you know, the one you can read. The Norse compass was used by Viking seafarers to find their way home, and it was also a deeper meaning of a compass to use in life to find one's direction and purpose. We believe that surviving is both a physical and mental skill, Not only do you need the tools to survive, but you need the will. Calculated survival provides the tools, guidance, and inner strength to not only survive the wild, but also to survive the world. This is insanity. Description. Oh my god, yes. This is fucking god. This is what made me want to read this. This shit goes so hard. The vet is an experienced combat soldier who has served all around the world. He's been through many elite military training and survival schools. He has extensive land nav training and has survived numerous inhospitable terrains. And then the stats are god tier. Let's, dude, my man. Oh no, this isn't real. What? No, I didn't scroll that far down. I stayed here. Age 40s, gender male, height 5'9". Okay, this is gonna be one of those ones where you're gonna want to tune in. There's a reveal in just a second that is going to kill you. You may actually die. So, weight 195. My man's 5'9", 200. All right, build muscular. You better be. Saying, embrace the suck. We go down here. This might actually be a legitimate LARP site. This is fucking awesome. Attributes, charisma, indeterminate, I don't know, 3/4 full health HP bar. I think it's a non-numerical. It's a non-numerical bar. It looks like my treat meter at 75%. Mental toughness, 80%. Intelligence, 9. That's crazy. A ranger at a 9 intelligence is bonkers. Resourcefulness, 9. Strength, 10. He's a stir build, baby. Why do you have such a high roll on these? God damn. Endurance, fucking 80. Theme song, Enter Sandman by Metallica. It's not even a good Metallica song. His theme song is possibly the last actually good Metallica song ever made. It's nuts. He's like, his actual choice was Master of Puppets, and they're like, we don't want anyone thinking the wrong thing. Calm down. Just calm down. Weaknesses, gummy worms, and strong female Disney princesses. What? They have whole character sheets, yes. Oh no. Coming up next, the vet. Say you will, say you might, say you will tonight till the same he comes. Woo! Woo! You got a fucking WWE intro. This man is definitely, he is probably like, I mean, he might actually be in his mid 40s. This is a goddamn fucking Desert Storm vet. This guy has Desert Storm vet written all over him. This dude's played Metroid on the original Game Boy. Night till the Sandman he comes. Meow. Sleep with one eye open. He's a guy, he's shit-faced at the campfire. He's like, hold on. Gripping your pillow tight. Like, why are you making so much eye contact with me while you're singing that part? Drunk motherfucker. You know this guy. I know this guy. I would probably fucking roll with this dude. I would probably hang out with this guy. 5'9", 200 pounds. Macking on gummy worms, talking about how much he wants to smash on Princess Aladdin. Or Princess Aladdin, yeah, Princess Jasmine. Till the Sandman he goes, yeah. He looks over at the NAS engineer. Sleep with one eye open. I can't. All the guys that were too cool in school to do nerd shit have now achieved maximum nerd shit later on down the line. My man did character sheets. My man's doing character sheets is tremendous. I love these guys. The engineer. The engineer has many qualities that makes her, based. We got a chick on this one? Fuck yeah. Makes her an excellent addition to any team. She spent much time in the Pacific Islands and southern deserts. She can hunt, fish, trek, and make almost anything out of nothing. The engineer is just as effective in the wild as she is in the workshop. Age older than you think. What the fuck? Age, it says older than you think. That wasn't me making a joke. What a cool way to phrase that. Older than she looks? Oh God, I don't know. That's so fucking awesome. Gender female, height 5'5", weight she keeps it $122 with you. Build athletic / bodacious. Bro, who is rolling these characters? This is God tier. Saying if you fall off the horse, get the fuck back on. Oh my God, bro. Athletic / bodacious. What? I don't even know. I can't even imagine that. She's a short stack goblin. Oh my God, that's fucking intense. That's so awesome. Ugh. What in the fuck? Charisma 10, mental toughness 8, intelligence 10, resourcefulness 9, strength 8, endurance 8. She's built, dude. She's built. These like reek to me of like Shadiversity. Like, I would say natural artistry is a 2. I think we would all agree here. Like, you're not putting me that low. Like, are you? Is if that guy's at 10 and you're at 8, how fucking strong is this indeterminate older than she looks bodacious muscular lady? Like, she's packing it, dude. Endurance 8. Theme song Whiskey in a Teacup by Dean Brody. Don't know. Good whiskey. Weaknesses, good whiskey and sexy people. She got a buy streak. Oh, fucking the engineer. The survivalist. Yes. Oh my God. What theme song does she have? Whiskey in a Teacup by Dean Brody is what they said. I don't know what that song is. God damn it. The survivalist. The survivalist is adept at primitive survival, solitude, and living off grid. At an early age, he was brought up into a cult? Ah! What? What? This lore goes crazy. He's a cultist? Former cultist? Yes! Oh my God, dude, yes! He was never accepted because of his independent thinking and individuality. The former Mormon. The survivalist learned survival skills since he was 6 and started living in the wild alone at 15 for long periods of time. Bro was homeless? The cult then took almost everything away from him, but what they couldn't take was his spirit and will to survive. The survivalist has extensive knowledge of hunting, trapping, fire building, shelter building, and water sources. Age, early 30s, male. Height, 6 foot. Weight, 200 pounds. Build, athletic / muscular. Saying, don't drink the Kool-Aid. This is fucking awesome, bro. What in the fuck is happening? This is so cool. I hope this is actually like, I don't know if I want it to be fake or real. I'm along for the ride at this point. I'm along for the ride. This is wild as fuck, and I'm having the best day of my life. This shit is God tier. Who fuck? Actually, I'm giving you a shout out. I had no idea it would go in this direction. Who said this? Whose was this? Who? How dare you? Sloan. Sloan on the Discord. Thank you, Sloan. Sloan is based. Based Sloan. Psychotic request. What a fucking rabbit hole. I just read the top and I just saw the guy wrote his age 40s and I was just like beside myself. Like, I've got to cover this. I have to cover this. We're on a whole new plane of existence at this point. We have like 3 more people to go. I've got to get through this. My man, the survivalist charisma is the lowest recorded stat on record so far. At 65 to 70%. His mental toughness like a 9, intelligence a 9, resourcefulness a 10, strength 80%. So he is as strong. He is as strong as the lady engineer, who is 5'5" and 125 pounds. He's actually just as strong as she is. They have this shit. The survivalist over here, like, dude, I know already that the NASA Greybeard's going to have a strength rating of like 5. That's what my role is. My guess is that the NASA Greybeard's going to be like a 5. He's a wizard. He's a backliner. Absolute backliner. Our rogue here, sitting at a fucking strength 8, endurance 8. He should have higher endurance if he lives outside, I feel like. Theme song, Kool-Aid by Accept. I don't know that song either. Not by the title, at least. Weaknesses, Sasquatch. I know in my heart it means that he means trying to find Sasquatch, but in my heart of hearts, I deeply want to believe that every time he sees Sasquatch, he's like, god damn. Hey, yo, why don't you get a little closer so I can take an in focus picture of you, baby? Hey, I want to take a sharper picture of you, Sasquatch. Why don't you get a little bit closer? I like the way that you shift left, baby. Damn. Now I know why you hide out around the redwoods. The back of your head look ridiculous. My man like the $1 Million Man in Venture Brothers. Come on, Samson, it's nothing you haven't seen before. Sasquatch isn't something I've seen before. You never told me Sasquatch was a dude. Come on, Samson, it's nothing you haven't seen before. Sasquatch is something I haven't seen before. What the hell was that? It's just an army vet out here with his friends. You idiot. That was Brock Sampson, the $10 million man, and Sasquatch wearing a Sasquatch beard. Oh. They're standing on the opposite sides of a raging river. He's crying, cutting down the fucking bridge. Ah! Someday. Do you like Mike and Ike's Lady Bigfoot? Weak for Sassy. Are you talking to me? Ah, no, man. I don't know. Yeah, I know him. He tried to get me up, man. Get some pretty fucking wild-ass mushrooms, but I said, I'm not looking for something long-term right now, so I kind of fucked off. Sasquatch. Sasquatch. It's fucking nice. It'll be like a tiny little Sasquatch. Oh, nice. Coming again, man. Oh, hide me. Sassy. You're the size of a fuck. Sassy. The size of a fucking dumpster cunt. Can't fucking hide you anywhere. What are you? Don't sneak behind me. I'm a fucking Sasquatch too. No, man, he's just fucking after me. I swear to God, he's not going to be into you at all. Because you're fucking bald. Oh, Dave, fuck you. Fuck you, Sassy. Fuck you. You fucking cunt. Are you talking to me? I don't know why I'm doing. I don't know why I did that much Big Les show. Oh, my God. I need to watch Venture Brothers. Everybody needs to watch Venture Brothers. I'll watch Venture Brothers again. Good craft beer. The Scientist. The Scientist is a highly educated athlete. No! Boo! 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 I don't want a fucking athletic scientist. I want a backliner. Athlete who can crush you with her IQ. What? She was a Division I soccer player and able to trek miles up mountains, traverse cliffs, and ford rivers with relative ease. I can't believe how fucking, multi-gendered this team is. I'm actually very impressed. It's obviously some guys and their wives, but I'm still very impressed. There's a bunch of fucking lackwits and their smart wives who all met at fucking, smart lady college. What do you guys do? Oh yeah, we all have jobs in STEM, and our dumb fuck husbands hang out on the weekends making fucking character sheets for us, walking around in the woods throwing tomahawks at trees and shit. Oh my God. Big boy Sloan super chat $2. You're welcome, LMAO. Sloan based Sloan. Jesus Christ. Is the survivalist Peter Kane? Maybe he's Michael Kane. I'd walk a cat. God damn it. Whether she is, what the fuck? She was a Division I soccer player and able to trek miles up mountains, traverse cliffs, and ford rivers with relative ease. Whether she is jumping from a plane or experimenting in a lab, she shows no sign of fear or fatigue. While she may be the youngest member of the team, she has much experience in the wild through trial by fire. 5'5", $115, lean athletic, saying "oh my fuck" or OMF in parentheses. Early 20s female. No charisma. She's at like a 65, 70 on charisma. This bitch got no charisma. Dorky fucking bitch got no riz, bro. Fucking scientist over here. Why do you guys need charisma mod? Aren't you? You're survivalists. Why do you need charisma? What? Are you guys like trying to? Are you guys dump statting barter out there while you're fucking walking around your bust ass backpacks? I love these guys. Oh man, the scientist, mental toughness 9, intelligence 9. She's a fucking scientist. How is her max stat? How is she not a 10 on the intelligence? Why the fuck is she a 9? What is with this stupid bitch? I fucking love her. She's my favorite. She's my favorite by far. I love her so much. Oh my god. Oh my fuck. I'm the scientist. She can crush you with her IQ. She has the same intel as the survivalist. She's not as smart as the engineer. And she has the same intel as the army guy. Her stats are fucked. How are you? You're a scientist, but your fucking int stat is as high as the fucking army guy? Like, what the fuck? This team is gonna get fucking wiped, bro. What in the fuck is happening? God damn it, I love it. I fucking love it so much. This is what happens when you let somebody do a character sheet and they don't know that it's okay to have people with like 3s. You know what I mean? How did you fill your character sheet up? Well, first off, we didn't want anyone to feel left out. So it seems that you have a scientist whose int stat is as high as a soldier's and whose endurance stat is higher than a soldier's. Higher than a soldier's. Like, yeah. So like, what the fuck is happening with these character sheets? Fucking awesome. 115. Strength at a 8, right? Or maybe an 8. Resourcefulness at an 8. Int at 9. I don't know why. Endurance at 10. We have our scientist. Our absolute backliner character has high fucking endurance. And like not quite high fucking intel. It's so crazy to me. Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. You can take, I don't want Mary Sue's. I want your stats to reflect it. Like everything else should be lower. If you're a $155, with all due respect, unless we're doing magic, and this seems like it's supposed to be a grounded setting, if you're a $115, if you're 115 pounds and 5'5", your STR is not going to be over 5. I'm sorry to say it, but like, if I was they would put me in here and I would have the same fucking strength as just like any random person. Like, we don't want to make anyone feel bad. Like, dude, it's okay to put them at a 4. If everybody's high as shit and has high as fuck stats, you're not gonna. There's not gonna be a reason to have other party members. You're fucking engineer's like an artificer with max int, and then you got the scientist next to her like, what are you doing? I love it. Just a full ED. This is great. Oh no. Theme song, You Don't Own Me by Say Grace featuring G-Eazy. The white guy? Oh no. Oh no. You can't. Not him. No one's ever allowed to have G-Eazy as their favorite anything. He's not even allowed to feature on the track. This just, You Don't Own Me. I don't even know what that actual song is. It just reminds me of the TikTok where it sounds kind of like, you don't know me. I don't even know what the hell it is. It's like the wizard or mage not having their strongest stat be magic for some reason. Yeah, you got the nerd range build. She's a 10, but she's entirely Rizless. Dude, I like that. I love a like scientist type character lady who's like can't take a hint. Do you know what I mean? She's like adorable, can't take a hint, book nerd. Best. Great character setup. I usually love that. We don't see enough of that one. The only people that ever fucking try to use that character setup are goddamn fucking sex pervert books writers, right? No, I need more. I need better ones. I need better ones. God damn it. So one of my favorite builds, you could head down to the office with me today. Oh no, I'm literally too busy to go to to go to a bar. I don't even drink. She's like, fucking awesome. She got no charisma, no ability to engage in conversation at all. Hyper focused on her work. God tier character. I love it. I like any character that gets introduced with like goofy glasses on, collecting shit in a big cloud of smoke and fire. Always a great intro. This is why I like Jinx, I think, from the goddamn Arcane show. No riz, no charisma whatsoever. Just literally like you have to come to like the character because the character is actually likable. I think that's what I like about it. You have to really overcome their inability to interact with other people on your own, and you can really appreciate it. I think that's why I like that character archetype. No riz, hyper focused, like int whiz character, you know what I mean, are fun. They're fun. Usually, rarely the best lead, you know what I mean, or the easiest, I should say the easiest lead character pick, but usually a pretty solid one. I don't know. Tell me in the comments what you guys think. Have you seen Invincible? Thoughts? I just finished. No, I'm not watching Invincible this year because I haven't found somewhere to pirate it yet. We dropped Amazon, so I don't have any access to it. The White Macklemore himself, G-Eazy. God. That's rough. It's the Harley Quinn song from the cartoon on HBO. I still don't know it. They're still using the incel attractiveness scale where 7 is average. It's very 1D. You don't know you're beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. I don't like that. I just like people that are too distracted with their work to pay attention to people trying to go after them. I think that's fucking great. I like a character. Here, I'll explain it a little bit better. I like a character who is not attractive like physically, like, but like attractive as in you want to know more about them, like as attractive to the audience. Like, I really want more engagement with this character and I want to know more about this character, but the character is actually too busy for the story that's trying to involve the character. That is one of my favorite dynamics, is really what I'm getting at. Do you know what I mean? So like, if you're not particularly great at writing, or you're new to it, I'll say, you'll try to write stuff and you'll want to make your characters, you'll cheat. You don't even realize it, but you'll cheat to make your character want to be in the show. Like, you'll make their lives a little shitty. You'll provide stumbling blocks and stuff, which part of that's plotting, but it's really, you can catch it sometimes where it's like, this character is being forced into interacting with the plot that I want them to interact with. But the real winner there for me, and one of my favorite character archetypes, is somebody that is too busy for the plot, but really, really engaging for the audience. The audience is like very attracted to them as a like, I want to know so much more about this person, and they don't seem like they have the time for me, the audience, the most important person. And so like, you feel like you're being like, led astray. There's a lot of characters like that. If you start thinking about it, you'll get what I mean, that are like too busy, too distracted, whatever. And like, I like as a character that's not going to be like a Mary suit out, just legitimately too busy to be bothered being dragged into other people's like stories, but they have to kind of keep going back to them. and they maybe become part of it. Because it really, if they end up joining, it kind of makes a like, fuck yes, god damn it, are we actually going to get like an arc with my character I want to see? It's great. It's awesome to me, I think. Velma, no. It's not as simple as like you want to see like a romantic interaction or something. That's just usually like a kind of a way for me to explain it. Really, just like zero charisma too. Like, so they're not like trying to like play in and out of the plot. They don't even know where they are in it. They're like a rock in the flow of the story, and you're like, no, I want to stay with them. Can someone drag them there? And the characters that interact with them that for someone else might be like, you know, especially if it's a high charisma character. In my mind, I feel like a low charisma, if someone's not interested in you, should actually make it harder for a high charisma character to interact with them at a certain point. Like there should be a diminishing returns for high charisma, because it's like if you put on if you give a great speech, right, and someone's just not interested in it, and they don't have the build to want to engage with people on those terms, like it's lost. People don't do that with charisma enough, and I feel like they should. I mean, probably some people do, because usually they offset that. I've seen in like the D&D shit, they offset it on stats that are like fucking intel or wisdom or whatever. But like if you have think of int, right? Somebody that does something 10 int, like writes big 10 intelligence book, and then they give it to somebody that's like 7 or 8. The 7 or 8 person will be like, ooh, okay, hard for me, but like I want to stick with it. And like the 9 or 10 person will be like, okay, I get it, and this is like the tippity top. But as you get lower, it should be like, not for me. Do you know what I mean? Like it actually should be, you should have an immunity to high intelligence at lower intelligence. Like it should be something you have to work around, because it's kind of it goes in the opposite direction. And people kind of get it. They kind of get that, I think, when you see stuff like Fallout, and like ultra low int sort of circles back to the top, where you become like a savant in interacting with the meta narrative, because it's like, well, you're literally so stupid, we have to give it to you. And so you kind of get like an accidental increased luck stat, kind of, but not really. I think charisma should be the same way. I think a mid-low charisma person should actually be difficult for a high charisma individual to like interact with. So like this person's like, so now we got to sing and dance and blah, 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 you know, like trying to like convince someone, and they're just like, no, it's fine, I guess. You know what I mean? Because like that's like, if you actually are a high charisma person, which I guess maybe I am, any fucking entertainer is going to be like, you know, 7 or higher at least, probably. If you interact with somebody that's like lower charisma and doesn't have some other reason to be like paying attention to you, their uncharismatic interactions with your charisma can actually be pretty deleterious to you. You're like, come on. Like it's like unenthusiastic applause in reply. He like goes down. And I really like the thought of somebody trying to like run charisma games on someone who's just so distracted and so low charisma anyway that they just kind of walk away. It's kind of like adding a German, I guess, to anything. You know, it's like, oh, no, that was good. I've seen songs before though. You know, it would be hard outside of putting an actual character in that position, but it's just one of the dynamics I enjoy, and I want to see that. Patrick Star type build, yeah. Shanks in One Piece, possibly. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know enough Shanks lore. I guess he's fucking gone enough. The Wire did what you're talking about very well too. In the other regard, yes. Like the Lancer role, but with a bookworm character, they get the job done, but they're busy with their job specifically. Yeah. To kind of simplify things to like, you know, trope terms, sure. Strength and endurance, you don't own me. Weaknesses, she loves her a good food truck. Okay. I misread that. Dude, my brain said she loves her a good fuck. I was like, what? She loves her a good food truck. It still said so weird. I don't know. Animals are friends, not food. Oh, God. So she's going to be fighting with everybody. The cop. Description. The cop is an experienced police officer who has served almost 25 years and is still active in his career. He has been through numerous classes, including tactical, medical, defensive, and firearms training. He has extensive narcotics and crisis intervention experience. part-time mechanic and custom fabricator, a perfect addition to any team, whether in the field or in the city. I would actually say no. I would actually say your overall skill set is not suited to this environment. You know what I mean? It's like, even if it's a good skill set, it's kind of like taking like a Fallout engineer class person and putting them in, maybe not even engineer, like a Fallout like power armor user and putting them in, you know, like Battlefield or Baldur's Gate. Like, you'd be like, you have something that could probably cross over, but all of your specialties are kind of useless here. You have to completely like reclass. It might be fun to do, but he's almost like a fight. It's like an isekai, you know, reincarnating as a cop in the woods. Oh my God. Age in denial. Okay. Gender male, height 5'11", weight 202, build muscular, saying I'll be right over, shows up an hour later. Oh my God. What do I even say to follow that up? I can't make any. I'll leave this one alone. This is real advice for me coming up with my first D&D character. It goes real hard. I hope you enjoy. Mob Reagan relationship has almost the same dynamic. Pretty similar. That's assuming to the VGG Abyss does to you. I'm going to be honest, out of everyone, if he said he had killed someone, I'm more likely to believe him over the Ranger. It's true. Charisma, very low. Charisma's a 6.5, 7. Oh no, charisma's as low as it gets. Mental toughness 9, int 9. Why is the cops int 9? Oh, what? No, absolutely not. Resourcefulness 9, strength 10. The cop's got a 10 strength. He's been a cop for 25 years. He's got to be at least 45 years old. I mean, that doesn't mean you can't be strong, but like, he's gonna be the strongest guy. Endurance 9. No, come on. The Violence by Rise Against. Oh, is his theme song. Dude, you guys have worst fucking taste in music. Weaknesses, Pretty Women, and almost anything with an engine. This guy should just be the mechanic. You're so bad at rolling your classes. Oh my God. The NASA Graybeard. He's the NASA Graybeard. Do we need to say anything else? Yes, actually. What? Age the Elder, gender male, height unknown, weight unknown, build doesn't matter in space. Saying that's not how it's done in space, kids. Oh my God. And he's 10s all the way down. I wonder who filled out the character sheets. Oh no. Oh no, bro. Oh my God. I love him. I love this dude. He 10'd himself. He gave himself 10s all the way down. He gave himself 10s all the way down. Theme song. Do you really need to ask? Rocket Man by Elton John. Probably the best song on the list. Weaknesses, just his associates. This guy's he's just friends with these fucking ding dongs. I want to run through this real quick. The vet. I want to re-roll them. Where would I put the vet? I would put vet charisma at maybe like a 5 or a 6, depending on his background. Mental toughness, I would give like vets, cops, combat characters like higher. 8's probably fine, depending on who he is. 8 to 10, right? We can give it an 8 for this guy. Int, I would put way lower. 4 or 5, maybe a 2 or a 3, if you want to be balanced, especially. But probably, we just sit at 5, right? Resourcefulness should probably be like a 7 or an 8. Strength 10 is fine, and endurance like 8 is like okay. But we need to drop some of these top pieces a bunch, unless you're really late gaming it. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn. Especially as like a native attribute. Actually, I would even drop strength, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, maybe even drop... No, strength is fine. You can be my frontliner character. High strength, high endurance, decent resource... I don't know what resourcefulness necessarily means. I mean, compared to the other people, though... Yeah, actually, resourcefulness could probably like a 4. 4 or a 5. Int could be 3 to 5, maybe like right around a 4. Mental toughness should be on the higher side, and charisma can be like a 5 or so. It should be like way over here with your weights towards strength and endurance. Engineer is crazy. We can have the engineer have high charisma if that's gonna be their max. Okay, so the engineer has high charisma for no reason. Max charisma, max int. Oh, it's fine. Okay. Mental toughness should be lower. Mental toughness, if I'm gonna give this anything, I'm gonna say that this is like resistance, right? In the wilderness, so you're gonna have like stamina. Basically, like to keep your mental toughness looks like our version of mana in this, right? So this should be your second gauge. This is your HP and stuff. Well, actually, probably be kind of right in here. This will probably be your HP gauge overall. Well, no, this will be your HP down here, HP and stamina, and this would be your actual like your will to go on. You know what I mean? Type deal. We've had those before. Fatigue, all that kind of stuff will be in mental toughness. So like a 10 on a mental toughness should be like you could cut your own arm off. You know what I mean? Like if you got like bit by a zombie type deal. Like that would be a 10 on the mental toughness. You could do surgery on yourself kind of thing. Then like up here it should be like you can withstand injury and like walk it off. Like you get shot in the stomach and you keep going for a while, like to even like get the fuck back up should be like a 6 to an 8. You know what I'm saying? And then like right at a 5 would be like an average, high average level of mental toughness, which would be something that you still have to kind of get to. You know, like you're like you can stiff upper lip is right here. You know, you stub your toe, you get like a bee sting or something, you don't let it ruin your day. And then down here is probably where most people are in the 2 to 4 range, which is like you do let things get to you. I think like an engineer and these guys should be like down in the like you sometimes let stuff get to you. You know what I mean? Or at least like at stiff upper lip. Anything past a 5 for an engineer should be like, okay, why can your engineer take having their leg broken and walking on it just raw? Like, why is your engineer just like really okay with like your engineer got shot in the fucking leg and didn't flinch? That's crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what that should be. Int at 10, fine, right? That should be where you are. If charisma is going to be 10 for this person, I need a lot of this other stuff way lower. And you can see the character kind of forming. Athletic, bodacious engineer. So she's a hot artificer, okay? Big booba artificer with a lot of charisma and a lot of int. Having her be a bit fucking like squiggish about everything else, like, you know? A nail breaker. Really, really smart. Really, really, really fucking hot, charismatic. She's eye drawing, but like, can't take a hit a little, because if you have two max stats, you gotta be a little bit glassed out in other areas. Strength, I mean, what do we have? This person is 5'5", $122. I think that if you're under 150 pounds, more than likely your strength doesn't go past 5. With all due respect, strength at 10 for this guy is going to be me giving him the benefit of the doubt that he can deadlift over 400. Right? A strength of 10 has to be, I would say, Olympic level strength, right? So probably a deadlift of like 500 pounds minimum, a 440, hard sprinter, high jumper, somebody who's fucking like cut from diamonds level of fucking like he's built. All right. So it's not a knock to say that your girl character doesn't make it to 10. Most guy characters don't make it to 10. Anybody that makes it to 10 for strength alone is raw, built like the fucking Hulk. You know what I'm saying? And then even me at my best, I'm like a 6 or a 7 on strength, right? Bigger than the average bear, but I don't make it to like JV athlete, collegiate athlete. Think Olympic. This is a good way. Olympic athlete, professional athlete, like record-setting Olympic athlete. Muhammad Ali winning the gold level fucking Olympic athlete, right? We'll even give it the nod. Don't have the line. Professional athlete, collegiate, high school, casual athlete. There's your tops over 5, right? So you should be a record-setting, once-in-a-lifetime athletic presence at a 10. You know what I'm saying? You got to be Wilt Chamberlain shit. That's what the 10 is for strength. So in that, your Eddie Hall is a 10. You get what I'm saying? Like Eddie fucking Hall is a 10, maybe even like 1,000-pound deadlift if it's that kind of thing. When you get down to somebody like me, I have a fucked up back, so I'm down at probably a 4 right now to maybe a 5. At my best, a 6 or a 7. 6'4", 275 pounds, and pretty low body fat with all due respect. You know what I mean? I'm nothing to fucking shake a stick at, but when you compare me to like a 19-year-old varsity athlete, that kid is going to be a fucking, like, those kids are fucking monsters. It's my little brother. When he was playing, he was fucking rough, dude. He was strong as shit. You know what I mean? Collegiate level athlete is going to be the next level up, and then like a professional and like an Olympic. You know what I'm saying? So we can give it to that guy and just say he's building a brick fucking shit house. But as we go down, someone that's going to fall underneath that, if you're not like, and this is strength, your overall athleticism is going to be strength plus endurance together, obviously. So this lady could probably have very high endurance. You can give her a 6 or a 7. For endurance, a 10 is going to be like an ultra marathoner. One of the people that can do the super deep dives. You can hold your breath for 5 to 10 minutes, and like you can achieve like samsara or whatever the fuck that's called, like levels of like oneness with your body's energy levels. Like you can literally mete out how much juice your body needs. You're in complete control of your body's endurance, and it's at the maximum level. Ultra marathoner running 155 meters. Pack hiker or a climber just going straight start to finish all the way through. Doesn't mean that you have the strength there, but as far as the endurance goes, you have all the endurance. So like a 0 STR, a 1 STR 10 endurance person would be like that guy that held his arm in the hand in the air until his like hand went away. That's the endurance. That's what endurance is. Like you can just keep going, right? So like if you're like a 6 or a 7, you're a person that could probably jog like 10 miles. You know what I mean? 10 miles, I would give you like a 7 to an 8. Jog at a reasonable pace. Somebody that can swim a full mile, which is very, very far. I'll tell you right now. If you could do a triathlon and complete it, you're probably at least a 6 or a 7. Really complete it. No stops, no weights. You were actually competitively competing a triathlon. You're there. Your ultra marathon running across the fucking, the salt flats, that's like a 10. Okay, I have to give it to you. That's fucking insane. You can actually be higher than a professional athlete. Like a professional athlete, we'll say like a running back in the NFL, their endurance is going to be like an 8 at max. You know what I mean? Like, which is like, yeah, but they're really good. Like, yeah, but like it's that guy. And then a fucking ultra marathoner. The ultra marathoners reducing the STR and upping that endurance. And then maybe there are the rare few. You got your Deion Sanders existed. So like there are people that go all the fucking way, and those are going to be your like somebody that's 10 STR, 10 endurance is going to be fucking ridiculously unstoppable. They're going to be an eternal bull. It's the fucking literal juggernaut. So you have to pull down that. I would give a girl that weighs $122 and is 5'5", probably in pretty decent shape for BMI reasons. You're not going to have a lot of extra weight to carry around. When you get bigger like me, if you're not really focusing on endurance, your endurance can go down because powering your muscles is harder. So actually a lot of women tend to have higher endurance overall. So you can give girls higher endurance a lot of times, especially if they're athletically equivalent to the men around them. They'll be like, you don't think it until you get around fucking female athletes. And then you're like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, she doesn't have as high endurance as the male version of her same athleticism. Okay, fine. But like when you compare, Eddie Hall pulling deadlifts, him versus a female marathon runner, you know what I mean? Her endurance is going to be crazy high compared to him. And then if you just take two people that kind of work out, women tend to like cardio a little bit more. And they're a little bit more dedicated to it, and women have higher fat stores and they hold on to water more. I know this is like a gender thing. Sorry, I'm not including you guys. I'm talking specifically to like body compositions. But if you have a higher overall fat composition, you hold on to more water and you can just go further. That's why the fucking best marathon runners are all ladies. They're fucking they obliterate the competition. They hold on to it. Boobs got water in them. Sucks to suck, guys. Sucks to suck. Losers. Get dunked on, Y chromosome. You know what I mean? So like these aren't like knocks, and it's okay to have a female character or a smaller character or a diminutive character or whatever have decreased physical stats. It's okay. The character comes from being more than your statistics. Understand? Never forget that. Like if the most important thing to you and your character is numbers, then your character's not important to you. The numbers are important to you, and you're trying to explore that. And you can do that. Go ahead. You know what I mean? If you actually want to have a 10 character, 10 endurance, 10 strength, 10 fortitude. Okay, yeah, you're fucking Saitama from One Punch Man. Go ahead. You can do a lot with that. And the best thing about Saitama is he is a fucking 1 charisma character. he's a 1 charisma, what? 1 charisma, 2 int. Fucking. Actually, I wouldn't even give his mental toughness all that high. I think his mental toughness is maybe like a 3 because he gets mad easy. Somebody's mental toughness should be like completely like beyond, like you should be able to transcend reality and just completely dissociate while maintaining control of yourself. You know what I mean? And that should be tied roughly to endurance. Your character should like be really like, okay, those are like, you know, complementary stats. But I digress. I really enjoy this kind of like 6 stat setup and talking about this stuff, but I just want to get into that real quick. So like, yeah, 122, 5'5" strength is not going to be an 8. You're going to be probably like a 3 to a 5, especially because she's an engineer. Okay. Engineer not doing, I know all these people are like retirees at the end of their life, but engineer's not going to be doing fucking, you know, heavy weightlifting or doing like a lot of stuff. You build your strength. In the Marines, I was strong as fuck. And it wasn't just because we worked out. It was also because I did stuff with my hands all day. When you just pick up things constantly, your hands get ridiculously fucking strong. Like my hands were strong as fuck in the military. You see a guy that's on a farm throwing hay bales, like, yeah, he doesn't work out, but that guy's literal job increases his strength by a lot because it's fucking heavy repetition over time, and it's constant fucking reps. So his hands are going to be really fucking strong. Shake hands with a mason if you don't believe me. Anybody that works concrete, you're like, what in the fuck is with this guy's fucking mitts? You will just get crazy strong. Doesn't mean anything about the other people, but just keep that in mind that your job will do that. Just like if you're an engineer, you're going to be smarter. Hopefully, if you practice your job every day, you're going to be able to do int stuff, mathematical equations, dealing with like different things that int would be a stat in all the time. So you're going to have native experience constantly as part of your job. It's not a knock for you not to have the STR there. You know what I mean? And if you're going to have like a high STR engineer, you can figure out why. Like, that's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Endurance, probably a little too high. Probably should be like 6, 7. Resourcefulness, probably 6, 7. Resourcefulness is interesting. I guess that would be like wisdom. That's like a wisdom stat, right? So that would be kind of like assessing the area. Intelligence would be like, hey, you know, the perception is what resourcefulness would tie to. Perception, wisdom, understanding. I think I've seen in different different builds. So like, int would be your ability to have stuff presented to you and put it together, right? You can say, okay, I understand how the puzzle works. I get it now. Resourcefulness would be given the puzzle and missing a piece and being able to figure out how to go about finding the missing piece. You know what I'm saying? So like the int person maxed out will be able to put the puzzle together and figure out how the puzzle goes together very quick. The resourcefulness person, right, relying on int to do that, okay, fine. But if there's parts of the puzzle or like the puzzle's not immediately around you, you would be able to kind of start being more perceptive on how to figure out how the pieces would even be found to get them to the int. You know what I'm saying? So I think resourcefulness would definitely be like high as fuck in the survival person, because it should be kind of like situational awareness, perception, having like sensitive skin, so to say, to kind of like figure out the vibe of the moment. High resourcefulness and charisma is going to give you somebody that can kind of like go like a gambler type character, right? So you're good in there. You can kind of jack of all trades, swindler, rogue, get yourself in and out of a situation simply through like talking and understanding what you're seeing. A high charisma, low perception, low, in this case, resourcefulness person would be someone along the lines of someone who can like just really yammer and talk, but ends up in the, they're right behind me, aren't they? Type deal. They would usually be good paired up with a character that does have higher perception, higher intelligence, and maybe low charisma. A person who's pulling that shirt, you know, hey, dude, I'm almost done here. I'm working. You know what I mean? That's the high charisma, low perception. High charisma, high perception is like, have you ever seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Brad Pitt going to that area? You know, higher on the perception, maxed out charisma, literally talking his way into the enemy cult camp, talking his way inside the house, talking to the guy, and then figuring out the whole situation and that there's something going on and all this sort of stuff, and then going, okay, and then rolling and having enough perception to know what he should say and then being able to say it correctly. That's kind of where those would play in together. You know what I'm saying? MacGyver? Yes. Damn, you guys said MacGyver at the same time. No, MacGruber. What if resourcefulness characters just know a lot of random stuff? I don't know. That would be weird. I mean, that would probably, sure. I mean, you would not be able to. You're kind of like flipping it. So if you have a high resourcefulness, you will just learn a lot of stuff, right? Maybe, yeah, okay, fine. No, yes. Not how I would have explained it, but correct, I think, actually. We both got there. Yes, fine. Goddamn. DM Tyler. But yeah, this is the engineer lady, right? I would definitely put her charisma a little bit lower, probably a 5. Charisma should be like, I can talk you into anything. When I speak, right? When I do stuff, like high charisma, you shouldn't even have to actually really talk. High enough charisma, your mere existence should alter people's ability. Like you're literally being there is a mental toughness roll for them to not be attracted to you. Like if you're a high 10, and attraction does not mean sexual. Understand that. VGG, get it out of your head. Get it out of your head. Attractiveness is not always sexual. Attractiveness is literally attraction. So if you see, you know, some guy doing a fucking, cartwheels on like a flaming tightrope, that's attractive. Literally. Whomp, like that. So understand, that's the use of the word here. I know it might get stepped on and be a little confusing, but understand, 10 charisma, you should be insanely attractive for some fucking reason. We can range this from you're a femme fatale with like 10 charisma, buxom, big booba, pretty eye, very nice smelling from a distance, all the way, you know, oh my God, wow, like she walked in, your legs everywhere. You can have that. That's the easier version of it. The other 10 charisma is going to be a fucking clown, a literal clown. Walking in on a thing. You are immediately hyper focused because that is the other version of charisma. Normally you just want to think cult leader, religious leader, hot guy, magnificent bastard. No, max charisma is max attraction. So like when you have charisma at a 10, that is going to be something you can't take your eyes off of. You're like literally like, it will be bypassing your brain's ability to fucking ignore it. I don't think charisma would necessarily be as necessary, in this like survivalist woods sense, but I like it anyway. And like being around. So like a 0 charisma would be the opposite, completely repellent. You know what I mean? Or not even repellent actually, because that could even still be high. Completely unnoticeable. You know what I mean? Just like literally your eyes. So you could actually argue. I always like this. This is why I demand this from people that do games and stuff. I always want you to consider the possibility that a 1 on your scales, if you do stuff like this, and even if you have to think of your characters this way, a 1 on your scale, you should be considering the possibility that that could be more beneficial than a 10 on the same scale at some point. It could be something as simple as the guy that's fucking 10 STR is so fucking wide he can't fit through a hole. Okay, simple, right? And the kid that's fucking 2 STR that's part of the party goes and wiggles through it. Easy one, right? Yeah, okay, cool. So how about this one instead? Your one guy's 10 STR. Boom, he gets hit with something and he grabs it and he's locked out because of mental toughness. Ah, shit. If he would have, and like now nobody can get it. So you use the strength against him. The person that's 1, you can pull it right out of their hand because they don't have the strength to hold on to it. That kind of deal. So your 10 charisma clown is over there literally just existing. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, like completely locked in. Your one charisma character is just like, dun, 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 and walks around and nobody notices him. One charisma shouldn't just feel like, you know, just like oh god, you stumble over every word and stuff. It should also have like a kind of like native buff that you're basically like, any random person with a clipboard. You know what I mean? Like walking around like, oh, clipboard person. Just kind of, you can just literally exist through. Because you're always like, I have a spy character, right? My spy's going to be max charisma because James Bond. Consider the possibility of having an actual CIA analyst, a level 1, 0 charisma, high-end person with a lot of resourcefulness. What do? Well, they desperately don't want to talk to anybody, so they constantly figure out ways not to. And then sometimes when people see him, they just don't even notice the guy. Okay. Which means if you need help, they'll ignore you, right? You have such low charisma, you can't get somebody's attention to like ask for help. But also, when you're walking around, your low charisma as a modifier is just like, did I just see a person, or was the wallpaper dirty for like a second? Was that like a flicker of light from outside? You should have stuff like that. I like it. When people see it with int, and they're like, it's very funny to have a character that's so stupid they kind of savant their way in a meta narrative through the story. But I like it having it for every single thing. So if you're ever trying to figure out like your scaling for shit, it should feel like that. Average is average. You know what I mean? When you kind of get through that 3 to 6 region, right? And exceptional is exceptional. But exceptional is not just the top of the scale. Exceptional should be the bottom of the scale too. Because somebody that has a 0 charisma or a 1 charisma should actually be legitimately exceptional in how uncharismatic they are. So just think of it that way. When I build stories and stuff, I tend not to use these numbers and things unless I have to for specific reasons. But I know some people use it, and you should think of it like that, because still the same builds that I have, it's the same reason. Somebody that is so unstrong, somebody that's so weak, that is going to be a notable aspect of their personality. An actual 1 STR is going to be someone that maybe needs, some sort of conveyance. They need a wheelchair. Maybe they have to like do this, that, the other, whatever. They might have some sort of wasting disease or something, or some sort of other interesting aspect of their body. They're just always slumped. They're narcoleptic or something. So like they're always kind of like overcoming that as an aspect of themselves. Or even funnier, when people try to do strength stuff with them, they're so opposite of how you should deal with the STR role that they actually have like a kind of counter role to it about being like, no. You know what I mean? Like, hey, go ahead and try to pick this up. And it's like, you have to be able to lift this over your head. Here's a great one. You have to be able to lift this bar over your head in order to go. And he's like, okay, I'll give it my best. And he reaches down and goes, Nyah! And he tries to lift it, and his whole body goes pop and squishes to underneath the size of the bar because he's got such little strength that his body just goes plop. And they have to go, how did we word it? And it's like, well, I told him to raise it over his head. And you're like, well, it didn't move. I know, but his head went under. Like you phrase it like, until your hands are over your head and your head's under the bar, you cannot pass, kind of deal. Like, the strength guy. And this dude, let me try. That's where you really get into how much fun stupid shit like this can be, because you kind of see, oh, fuck, I could have gone in a completely other direction. Lazy storytelling always wants to approach maximum competence to overcome maximum problem, because it's kind of like mental Sakuga. You're like, I really want to see cool sword fight. I want best guys sword fighting. I get it. It's kind of neat. You know what I mean? But UFC has its limitations, basically. You can only power scale so much before you creep out. And if you're always creeping in one direction, you're going to lose the entire other direction of the scale. And you're like, well, why should I use it? Let this be my example to you of why you should try to descale and really experience the shortcomings and the failures and the inabilities of your party, because there actually might be way better shit down there than you're giving yourself credit for. And don't forget that the highest levels should also they should come with another, like a counter buff, 6 strength, you know what I mean? You're all the way at the top, tippity top strength, but, you know, can't fit stuff, physically big. Mental toughness. Yeah, okay, normal, average mental toughness, okay, but you're actually so mentally tough, sometimes you don't realize that you feel pain, and so, like, you have to take higher damage modifiers for untreated wounds, because your dumbass is literally dissociating from your own body, and you don't realize. Like, you could have somebody's like, what happened? Like, well, his mental toughness is a 10, and he died 6 rolls ago, but he just doesn't want to die, he just doesn't get it. Like, what do you mean? Like, well, his mental toughness is a 10. And you're like, yeah, so it withheld. Like, what do you mean? Like, well, his brain is alive. Like, in the body, no, he just doesn't care. He's a ghost, I guess. He's just still around. He just literally talks like he's not a corpse over there. So every time he does a roll, he's in the frame. And then every time it's our turn and we're actually perceiving him, he's dead. But he refuses to not keep participating. Like, can you do that? The dice says yes, you know what I mean? Like, and if you're the dice and you can cheat the rolls because you're writing the story, then you're fucking golden. Never forget that. You know what I mean? Like, it's really cool to fuck with all of the different parts of the scale in my mind. Tyler, you're missing an important factor for this party, though. They just sit in one of their finished basements and drink all day. There's nothing wrong with that. I like that. They're all swingers. Going down, Survivalist. This is one of my favorite. I like Survivalist characters. Usually if I play a game, I always want to play some sort of like sneaky, roguey, survival-y. I just want to, I want to steal and pickpocket and shoot people in the face with arrows from like they can't see me. I like that. I like being a sneaky sneak. Age, early 30s, all this stuff. This guy's charisma should be lower. I feel like a survivalist, especially given his backstory, even they know it. His charisma is like a 6.5, 7 right here. His charisma should probably be like between a 2 and a 3 max. And that it should be fun. It should be really fun to have him be such a low charisma character. Do you know what I mean? He should be like it should be he should have a story that's like, well, so yeah, I was Montana. And I was there in the Badlands, eaten by my fire. And a bear came up. He looked right at me. And I don't think he saw me at all. And he took my food. And he left. And I followed him for 6 miles. And he didn't pay attention to me at all. And I took him out. And now he's my coat. But he did eat my food. But then again, I ate him. And like, that's his story. And people go, were you saying something? He's just, no. You know, like that should be your survivalist, right? Well, because a survivalist, I mean, if you really think of it too, you know, you're out there in the woods and shit, and then you get to the city, he's going to get repelled. Like, and then you get your Crocodile Dundee. Oh, this is a knife, you know? And people are like, oh! When he has one of his moments where he accidentally, like, rolls 20, you know, that's what that should be. You ever seen a knife before? Oh, that's not a knife. That's a knife. And it's actually like a 20, like, convinced. And everyone, oh! Boom, boom. All your little streamers and stuff fall down. Yeah, very nice. Very cool. And he has his like big moment. Hey, oh, yeah. Hey, all right. Do you guys want to? And then they're all gone already. Like, oh no, it's fine. Okay, bye. He starts jogging up behind him, but like he goes to like the city, you know. And this guy should be like, I'm not gonna talk to anybody, you know. And he's like climbing up on roofs and stuff, and just having a really good time eating pigeon. And like stealing people's satellite antennas and dishes and shit and making himself like a little barbecue and like stand. Cause he's like a highly this should be a resourcefulness max guy. And it's one of it'll like, think of it this way too. High as fuck perception, low charisma is your favorite characters 9 times out of 10 because they see it and they can't explain it in a way that kind of gets it over. High perception, high charisma is going to be like, you know, the Buddha himself level of fucking like awareness kind of deal. And maybe you have to like mix intelligence and other stuff in there too. But you know, but we'll go to our basic femme fatale character. Big booba, how you doing there, sweetheart, kind of thing, and she's like talking you through your life. You know what a good example of this is Cyberpunk, the digital prostitutes that live inside the AI that lives inside people's random minds and takes over for a second. Perfect example, actually even better than a femme fatale. Highly perceptive, highly like attractive. You're paying a lot of attention, but you actually might like kind of miss out on that to a degree. Do you know what I mean? Because like that's sort of the thing about charisma is once it's gone, it does feel like a vacuum. And with charisma, what charisma does can leave. You kind of like, but low charisma, high perception is going to be, well, that's going to explode, right? Boom, kind of deal, I don't think he likes you. That kind of stuff. You have your two other characters talking, like, I just really want to, like, maybe we could put on some dresses and go out for drinks after the thing. The guy's like, well, it's always time for dresses and drinks and all that. And the girl's like, well, yeah, there is kind of, that kind of, and then your little survivalist is just behind you like, well, I don't think he likes you. And they're like, were you standing there the whole time? And, I don't know. He's going to be eating a pigeon, like cooked pigeon on a stick. You guys are in my camp. I live here. You just walked through it 4 times. I've been here the whole time. I love this guy. Made this guy up 5 seconds ago. My little pigeon friend survivalist. He's my favorite character now. That guy's great. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like the good thing about the low end of the scale. Charisma person that's low could be almost like offensively unable to deal with like human interactions and shit. But also it's going to be way more biting because there is no glamour if you actually hear them. So when they say something, it's kind of just the thing. It's so factual and so not wrapped up in all of this, like, hey, there's cigarette smoke. Like, I don't know, maybe we should talk about. You don't have all that. You don't have this like fucking religious experience. Just like, it kind of like, well, I don't think he likes you. Like, that's gonna fucking live with that character for forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, God damn this motherfucker. Who even are you? I'm Ralph. I live here. You stepped on my bed. The girl looks down. It's a stack of like doormats. She goes like, what the fuck? Leaves. I don't know what this goddamn story is, but I want to write it now. I fucking hate talking to you people. Dr. Gregory House, charisma 10, int 10, perception 10. House's charisma would be a 2 or maybe a 2 to a 4. Unironically, he has horribly low charisma. You like him because you're attracted to him as a star. But if you think about who House would be in the narrative, right? Don't let your perceptions of where people are outshine where they are. Think about House's winning roles because the DM is on his side first and foremost, but he's got very low charisma. If you think about it, most of the time he actually has to rely on his party because his charisma is so dog shit. Like, he can't convince anybody to do anything. Most of the time, it's actually attribute because he has the doctor job. So, like, the doctor job makes people automatically accept medical advice. But when he's actually trying to convince people, you think about it, what we need to do is take your blood and turn it into urine and then put it back in you. And people are like, no. Like, no one ever agrees with House because House convinces them off of raw charisma. They agree with House because he's a doctor. It's literally just like a job bonus. You know what I mean? And half the time he's got to rely on his team of equally low charisma individuals to sort of massage shit in there. I like it. Charisma 10 is the merchant from RE4. No, you just don't ever switch up charisma for someone that you just really like. I'll leave it alone though. But yeah, I like my guy. My guy would be charisma, maybe 2, maybe 3. Mental toughness would be like, probably like almost like a 10 for this guy because he's going to be out on a lot of other stuff. Probably almost like 8. Probably a mental toughness of an 8. Intelligence 4 to a 5. Reasonably smart guy. Probably no continuing education. You know, like int should be at here. You should be like Cthulhu, Eldritch horror level of like assessing the universe. Almost unable to like talk about whatever you can talk about with people. And then down here should be your Einsteins and stuff. And then in this intermediary area should be like most of your postgraduate types, right? But it should really be like collegiate shit for intelligence. Your street smarts are down here in resourcefulness. You're like, I paid a lot of attention in school is all up on this. With 5 being like a high school graduate who legitimately graduated. Your drop kicks, we had to get rid of him because he was like, the dude was like 22 and like, you know, fucking in senior year, so we had to get rid of him. That guy's like a 3 or a 4 type deal. You know, a high-end character, unless they get kicked out, they'll drop out of school before they like stay there because it's going to be too it's irritating. You'll still pass because you're like, this is too easy. This is the only reason I'm not doing better at it. You're just wasting my fucking time. So like, just think of it that way. Your 1s and 2s are going to be people with like legitimately like not even like learning disabilities, like missing chunks of their fucking head type stuff, you know. So our guy, he's going to be like a 4 or 5. Int is going to be your ability to like really handle like STEM level hard physical truths of the world that don't really need a lot of like play around with. But his resourcefulness is going to be like insanely fucking high, like probably like a 10. Like a preternatural understanding of like the world around him, really awareness of what's happening. Your ability to take in sensory data as opposed to your ability to turn sensory data into like raw, detailed graphical information. So he's in there, he's just fucking like, anybody that's got like a really high like resourcefulness is going to be kind of indiscernible from like an airhead half the time because they're going to be so tuned in to everything else going on that it'll make people think that they're not paying a lot of attention to them because they're paying as much attention to this person as they are the entirety of the fucking earth kind of deal. His resourcefulness is going to be pretty high. Strength is probably not going to be very high for a guy like this. You would think it would be, but it's not. He's going to be probably like a 4 or a 5. He's a dude that lives in the woods. He's very hungry probably all the time, and he's not going to have a high calorie diet. You know, when you get to the people that are 10s, they're either going to be literal apex predators or apex herbivores, more on the like side of like predators that live in a protein rich environment. They're always fucking eating. So any human that gets up here, it's going to be somebody usually that has a lot of access to money or has been like engineered to be that big by people force feeding them, because humans just can't turn food into strength the way that like animals can. So animals are almost always going to be higher on the strength scale. So like somebody that's surviving in an area where you don't have constant access to like free protein is going to be in the middle, if not down far. And the same with his endurance is probably going to be on the higher side because the dude's got to move around a bunch. You know what I mean? And that's where our dude's going to be. Scientist, same sort of thing with the engineer, probably going to be way higher on int, 9s, 10s. Charisma, probably going to be down here, middle road, you know. You wash your ass a little bit here and there. You know, you're like most people, I think, are attractive people. I think the vast majority of people are like okay looking at best. You know, like you take care of yourself, you get a haircut, you dress okay. Most people are like, I would look at that person for the rest of my life. You know, range. So like that's like the 5 people that are scruffs, gross, a little bit down, a little bit better, whatever. If it's just native charisma with no practice on top of it, getting up to like clown, you know, modified, or whatever sort of it. So like an average person would probably just come in sitting at a 4 or 5. A person who is a 5 and has never really practiced being like conversational would probably be like averaged out at a 3 or 4. That's kind of like why these don't work too good, but you also want to make a bunch. So yeah, 4, probably fine for your average, like, you know, post-grad scientist. Yeah, like a 4 charisma. I think that'd be probably like on the higher side. Most of them are probably going to be like 2s to 3s, which is fine. This doesn't mean a person is like completely unengaged with. And you don't have to like make them like ugly or anything. You can make your pretty scientist lady, your pretty guy, but like there's difference between pretty and attractive, right? Never forget that. Attractive is really like you are drawn to them, right? And if the aspect of their charisma, wherever their draw comes from, should be a thing too. When you're going to stats, wherever you're drawing that stat from should be, you know, that should be an issue with them. So you can have an ugly person who's not like naturally attractive, but they have like a 6 or 7 charisma that comes on when they do a thing, and like they're singing, it's like, and And that can be a deal where you have somebody who's like observably, not that big of a deal, but then they do the thing that like is like the high attraction. And understand, once you do that, it's kind of hard to go back down. Think of like somebody like Paul Giamatti, who's like, walking around, little fucking scrub kind of dude. All right, hey, there's an average day-to-day guy, 4 or 5, and then he starts acting and stuff. His charisma goes up. It's not going to go back down. Like once people really like perceive, that's kind of like perception thing. An actual high perception person, you're gonna be like, I think this is like, hey, and that you could see somebody that has high perception and low charisma, like our little survivalist guy, kind of getting like enthralled by somebody that doesn't notice them, which kind of happens in shows. You kind of get how the interplay should like go here. What, bro? I left for an hour. Amazed you're still on this. Sorry, this is just what I want to talk about now. Now I just want to talk about character development because I enjoy the fuck out of it. Sorry. Yeah. The cop. What should a law officer? Law officers are gonna have pretty mid to low charisma, maybe like modified up. Mental toughness is gonna be on the higher side. Their ability, just because some of it's not just like injury related, but your ability to like kind of go on after seeing some stuff is just going to be naturally higher from your job. If you've seen like car crashes and all this stuff, you're not going to be shocked by something crazy happening. So your cop type character should have a pretty high mental toughness. They should be somebody that's like almost hard-headed, you know what I mean, when it comes to having the external world interfere with like the direct path of their brain. Which if you have somebody that has really high mental toughness, like a cop, the cop's probably going to have like lower int. This would be a hard-headed, really, really stubborn person. Maybe keep the mental toughness at like an 8, put the int down to like a 3 or a 4. You know what I mean? Sometimes your int goes down because you don't fucking practice thinking. And if you have a uniform job, you don't have to like really like do intel stuff anymore. You don't have to really consider shit. You just got to perceive it goes down. Resourcefulness should probably be on the higher side. Strength should probably be like, but not too high, like a 6 or a 7. Strength would be like maybe a 6. Maybe a 4, kind of depends on the kind of cop that they were. It can go either way. And endurance should probably be like right in the middle. I think they kind of got it here. Your cop should pretty much be your intermediary character with a lot of like lower interaction stats, right? A little bit lower on the interaction to like, reasonably resistant to stuff. Your int's going to be on the lower side. But then as far as resourcefulness, strength, and endurance, you're going to be a good like middleweight character to do a lot of different stuff that everybody else is going to have an issue with. So they can always sort of almost complement anybody. A great, second person who acts like a third wheel as part of a duo kind of deal. You know what I mean? With a little bit of hard-headedness. If you want to up the character, increase that mental toughness and pull that int down. And then you're going to have somebody who's like really bullheaded, stubborn, and but like bullheaded, stubborn with, high, with some pretty decent amount of like perception, resourcefulness. That is going to be your cop character. I couldn't really figure it out, but I was on to something. I had a hunch. That is the hunch build out. I'm really resistant to people convincing me otherwise. I'm not really smart enough to figure it out on my own. But I'm perceptive enough to want to fucking stick with it. And I know that there's something out there. That's your hunch right there, which would be great for a cop, and then you can kind of fill everything else in. Charisma, are you going to be Jack Nicholson's character in Chinatown, a little bit higher on the charisma side, well-dressed, a little bit of a shady kind of cop? Are you going to be a, Bruce Willis-y type, short on words, but like if he talks, people listen, kind of right in the middle? Or are you going to be on the lower side? You're going to be the Detective Bullock or whatever his name is from Batman. Almost no charisma, next to no ability to talk to people, constantly being ignored by everybody else on the force, but his hunches are okay. He can take he can take a hit, and he's pretty decent in a fight, but not very, very smart. So he's always kind of like, he let things get by him. Things get by him, but they only get by him because he was there in the first place type deal. I really enjoy that. And then this last person, NASA Graybeard. I guess this is just your Wizard Max character. If you want to do an all 10s across the board character, go for it. I usually think that stuff's kind of boring. But I like this. Somebody wanted me to check out one more thing from this. Sorry. Collections catalog. They wanted me to look at the whiskey. Is this one of our people? Is this my engineer lady? Engineer right here. This is my scientist on the smaller side. Bleed stop. Dude, why are you guys selling fucking Quick Clot? We got quick clot at home as bug out bag. Ooh. I want to see this. I can't believe I'm so into this one today. Are you going to be Cole Phelps, or are you going to be Cole Phelps in LA Noir? LA Noir Cole Phelps is going to be all over the place, too, depending on how good you are at that game. What do we got here? Everybody loves a kukri. I don't know why. Everyone loves a kukri, and here's the thing about knives. Don't buy knives until you need one, and then research what you need in a knife, right? If you're collecting knives, you're probably just buying scrap metal for no reason other than it's shiny. Like, if you buy a knife and you never use it, it better be like really unique and cool and not just like strange shapes. I mean, if you want to do that, it's okay. You're a magpie of a person at that point, so you're a little less interesting than other people. But if you're going to buy a knife for a purpose, it should be really like the best one, and you should buy it one time, and you should have to need it. There's not a lot of use for a kukri, actually. Like, somebody will respond to that and be like, look, here's an hour-long video of somebody using a kukri. And I'm like, dude, I have been outside a billion, million, trillion, gazillion fucking times my entire life, and I've never needed or wanted or could have benefited any more from a kukri than I could from the standard equipment of a pocket knife and a really, really, really good hatchet with a whetstone. Do you know what I mean? Like, a hatchet is it. There's a reason you don't see kukris outside of where they were made for the kind of vegetation that's around them. Now, if you need a kukri because you live somewhere where people have always used this to get around, go for it. Where I'm from, the Native Americans were using fucking hatchets and small stone knives and small, sharp 6 to 8 inch blade knives and a good fucking 3-inch face hatchet are all you'll almost ever need in America for survival. Because this is just not going to do it. I don't know what the plants are like in the like kukris come from like places with like more tropical rainforesty stuff. So you go south, okay, maybe, but like those jungle trees are like softer and they have a lot more soft shit to cut through. In America, we have really hard wood trees, pines and stuff. You won't need to slash your way through shit if you end up in a pine barren. You're not even going to need this fucking thing. You know what I mean? And just having a good, small, sharp knife and I think it's usually going to be better than usually a tool that does like 5 things is never quite as good as any of the 5 things those individual tools would be doing. Sometimes it's great to have a bunch of stuff in one. Usually, though, a hatchet, and what this isn't going to have is a lot of heavy front weight. A hatchet, you don't ever want a hatchet with a sharp point on the other end unless you're fighting knights or something. Get a hatchet with a fucking hammer and you're done. You're done. If you go buy a fucking old drywall hatchet, that is going to be a better survival tool than a lot of other things. Old drywall hatchet is a fucking hammer on one side and a hatchet on the other, which is going to let you hammer stuff and also hatchet stuff, right? Actually at the basic level of what both of those tools can normally do. Because normally a hammer is either just a hammer and a shape hammer or a hammer and a claw for removing nails. You won't need to remove nails very much in the woods. So having a hatchet to cut stuff down with is going to be awesome. Small limbs, chop, 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 chop. You can get your kindling going. And then for a hammer, you can hammer stuff. You know what I mean? If you have a blunt smashing surface. Perfect. Kukris are probably fucking awesome for what they're awesome for. And they look cool, which is, I think, why people want them. You see a kukri, you're like, I want to fucking cut something with that. But it's just a survival tool in general. It's got a lot of blade, which is a lot of sharp, and it's a lot of area to cut yourself with. Most of the times when you're cutting things, like if the blade is long, the reason the blade is long is for 2 reasons. First one is because you're using a fucking sword and you're fighting someone. So you need it so that you can maximize the area to cut someone with. The other reason is just because that thing has a lot of different reasons to use different parts of the blade. So if you have like a chef's knife, right? Chef's knife goes like this. Whoop. You use right underneath that curve most because the curve actually is for doing this chopping motion, right? And then that curved bit right there, you can also do slide cuts and stuff. So it's a different type of cut, actually. And that's why you have so much space on the blade. You don't want to add extra blade. Kukri probably does something crazy with all that space and stuff, and maybe you can like fight with it or something. But if you have a long blade and you're not going to be using all the blade, then that's just more weak metal it's more area to sharpen and it's more area to cut yourself if you're working. If you're using a knife, you know what I mean? You don't want to have extra stuff. If you're doing, especially if you're doing striking, repeated striking, you could hit yourself. It's just an extra risk. It doesn't mean you're gonna. But like if you think of a hatchet or an axe, you do past swings all the time. Everybody that's ever used an axe or a hatchet has overswung. And if they were taught good safety, they didn't fucking cut themselves, or they at least just hit the toe of their appropriate boot. You know what I mean? Something like this is just going to be not quite perfect for most of this stuff in North America. But if you're not in North America, maybe it's going to be great. I can't see what kind of knife this is. Medical kit made out of metal. I can't tell what these things are. This looks like it's a binder. Can I zoom in on this? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I can, sort of. Okay, just open the image in the new tab, right? Dude, they do not want me to fuck. God damn, I hate this website. Plan to survive, refuse to die. This is actually not even very good Molly, I don't think. This looks like Molly, and you could probably strap to it, but Molly needs to be these really thick canvas, otherwise they'll stretch out. So this is kind of like Velcro with like Molly holes in it. That looks like Alice clip with like too much fucking stuff in it. I fucking hate Alice clip so bad. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Can I just... God damn, 550 cord, always good. Passport bags, plastic passport bags. I would not carry this on a hike with me. Fresh naps, maybe. You have to take these back with you. Wet wipes are like not great. They're pretty bad for the environment. You almost always drop these and they'll end up like rotting fucking not very fast. This is like a sleeping kit with a Wooby, I think. That is definitely not enough sleeping kit. I want a lot more, especially if you're in North America. It can get very cold at night, even in the winter, the summer. 550 cord art, a beanie. I mean, you can get a beanie anywhere. I wouldn't buy a beanie from a kit because I would want to get a beanie that fits my giant fucking head. Water gravity system. I don't know enough about this system to say if it works or not. We got some glow sticks. This is what that looks like. Those also might just be electrolyte packs. Bic lighter, always good. Always good. One of the best survival tools of all time. The standard Bic lighter. Do not get something that doesn't say Bic on it. If you're going to buy a lighter, buy a Bic lighter. Every other lighter is fucking ass except for maybe Zippos, and Zippos dry out. Do not use Zippos as a survival lighter. Zippos are for people that smoke cigarettes and want to look cool. Okay? They're very nice lighters. They dry out because they're not completely contained. Fucking Bic lighters will light right now. If I have literally right next to me, I haven't touched this one in fucking forever. I have lighters left over from when I smoked cigarettes. Let's see if this thing will actually spark. Look, this Bic lighter has to be from at least 2011. It's jammed up. I can't get the striker moving because the flint's out. But okay, let me see. I might have one more in here. The flint on that one's broken. That's a small one. There you go. Same age. Literally. These are old. I have not purchased a Bic lighter since I was in college. I graduated college in 2013. Bic lighters. This one's flint is damaged, but it should still. Yeah, the flint's damaged, but the butane's good. You see what I mean? So you can still hit a spark on that and light it. Bic lighters are one of the best. This is one of the most. If you've never heard this, if no one's ever, this is some of the most important survival shit you'll ever get in your life. There is no better. I will say this 1,000 times. There is no fucking better survival item aside from really good knives than a Bic lighter. Because at least you can use this to set the whole forest on fire. You know what I mean? And try to get out of here. Literally, this has been in this box for half a decade. I haven't even used it in forever. I hold on to them because there's no reason to get rid of a Bic lighter. They're fucking great. If it doesn't say Bic on it, don't fuck with it. They need to be this shaped. You'll see lighters that look like this. They'll be the little plastic ones that you can see through. Don't buy those. Those are pieces of shit. Bic lighter. Striking for over a decade old. When I was smoking cigarettes in 2012 was when last time I would have bought one of these because somebody else stole it from me. So this thing might even be as old as 2010. So it's like a 15-year-old lighter, fucking literally every time lighting. Bic lighters, unbelievably good. You don't need to get this guy's survival kit, but that is probably the best item I've seen in here. That, I wouldn't use the plastic whistles. Get the good metal ones. But a whistle is great. Whistles are infinitely better than screaming for help. They travel further. They bleed off energy in the tone bleeds off energy way slower, and you won't burn your lungs out yelling. This looks like some sort of electric cigar lighter. That is what it is. I wouldn't fuck with this. Don't fuck with any battery lighters. Bics are good because they have a piece of flint and they have a metal striker in them. And so that they can get wet. They can go through. I've put mine through the washer, dryer. I've stepped on them. I've dropped them off buildings. They don't even matter. You can drop off a fucking skyscraper. I don't think the things would be fucking damaged because they're so light. I've left them out in the sun. I've left them out in my car. They've gotten hot as shit. I've never blown one of them up in my life. They're always the perfect pressure. They don't go up and down. They don't spark out. They don't flame out. The saddest day in your life, that's also going to be one of the most impressive days in your life, is the day you see a fucking big lighter actually go out. You're like, wow, it's actually fucking empty. They should be handed down like family heirlooms, I swear to God. You buy one fucking pack of Bic lighters, those kind, not the stick ones or any of the other stupid shit. Standard Bic cigarette lighter, you're good. You're good. Put it in your fucking your pack and keep on it forever. French craftsmanship dedicated to the craft of smoking cigarettes. Are they really? I don't know. Maybe. Bear Bell? Sure. I don't know. Bear stuff, too. Crack lighters? No, that's not a crack lighter. Crack lighter is this thing, actually. This would be a butane or an electric cigar lighter. They're the ones that go... They seem cool because they're really fucking crazy, but they're highly inefficient and the fuel goes away, and they're horrible for lighting fires because they're so hot, they'll destroy the fuel and not let it spark up. They'll burn the fuel away before the fuel can burn on its own. I always lose a Bic before it goes out. It's true. They only made the few hundred of them, right? Every time a socialist praxis is buying a Bic, a 20-pack of Bic lighters and losing them for the people. Improving the lives of the people around you by losing Bic lighters. I don't know. This is some sort of pouch. This is some sort of other thing. Don't know what any of these are. Watch, compass, small flashlight. I don't like these kind of flashlights. They tend to like die really quick with the fucking watch batteries in them. This looks like that's a fire starting kit, I think. Plan to survive, refuse to lose. Glasses case. I would say most of this is stuff that I would just buy. It either comes in cases already, or I just buy it from somewhere else. Watch yourself with purchasing medical equipment like this. It's always good to have a first aid kit, but you should just buy raw first aid kits that are in like the red bags. There's actually companies that make them specifically, and when you buy a first aid kit, you buy it for a temporary amount of time. They're like fire extinguishers. They go bad. Okay, so like they last from like 2 to like 10 years or whatever the fuck, but the actual materials that are inside of them will degrade. So don't go crazy buying a bunch of this shit if you're not going to need it. It's like better to have it than need it. And like, okay, talk to a fucking EMT guy, emergency medical technician will be like, okay, yeah, well, I mean, it's good, but like you can't even do that. Why do you have a needle thorientesis kit? What do you think? What you have crike equipment with you? Why are you gonna give yourself a fucking crikeotomy? You're dead, man. You don't need to carry that with you. Bic ain't refillable. I swear they were, but to be honest, I never was the one to use them. They probably are. I mean, they have like little things on the bottom, but I've never seen somebody refill a Bic in my life. Water filtration powder or tablets in the kit if you have a full bag. Yeah, I would definitely want a way bigger sleeping kit. I need a sleeping mat. They don't have a sleeping mat, which is crazy. Sleeping mat is important not because it's going to be like super comfortable. If you're actually hiking, this is what you sleep on. Like you'll clear it, but you'll never get rid of all the sticks in a forest. It's impossible. There'll be dirt there, and if you want to build up a dirt mound or something like that, or a pallet basically to sleep on, you can. But it always is going to be uneven, and there'll be roots and stuff. The point of the mattress pad that you'll bring with you is to like alleviate all of those points and sharps that are in the ground when you go to sleep, so that you can also do it. Usually you should just lay it out right over the sticks and stuff so that you don't disturb the earth and leave a gigantic I slept here spot. But, you know, if you feel like you have to, you definitely want to bring one of those. Yeah, I would say more sleeping equipment, more food. If this bag's all full up with this stuff, this is kind of like wasted space. I don't know. I'd say this is mid to okay. Also, I don't see a tarp in this. This is a poncho liner. Maybe it comes with a poncho. This seems to be waterproofy looking stuff, but also this just looks like a woobie. So probably not. Oh, that's a poncho right there, I think. A poncho or a fucking space blanket. It's probably a poncho. Definitely want a poncho. Don't get a disposable poncho. Those things fucking suck. You need to go and get like a real military surplus polyurethane, ethylene, fucka, whatever the fuck. You need to get a real poncho, okay? Get the military style. The plastic ponchos that come in cases like this are, first off, bad for the environment. They're okay if you're going to use it for like a water bag type deal, which some people do. You know, whatever the fuck. Bear Grylls tells you otherwise, go ahead and listen to him. But the if you want to have a poncho that's actually like, they're not waterproof, by the way. Water will come through them, but it doesn't like it because you just get wet. Trust me. But it keeps you from getting like deluged. The plasticky ponchos, they'll resist water, but they're made of stiff shit that if you let it get hot in the sun, when you take them out, they'll fucking crack and break and stuff. They also just degrade, so you can't reuse it. Once you have like one of those plastic ponchos you buy from like Disney World or something, you can't keep using them. They're like for somebody that wants to keep their clothes dry, like perfectly untouched by water, dry. Okay, yeah. But the actual ponchos, like rain ponchos for like walking around in a rainstorm type deal, they kind of like let water sweat through, but most of the water goes off of you. And trust me, if you're in that kind of environment, you're going to get wet anyway. It keeps you from getting super cold, and it holds the like, it's kind of like a wetsuit. So like, you're never going to be, if you try to walk in a rainstorm and stay dry for hours, it's not happening. Because first off, you're going to sweat anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. But it's kind of like a wetsuit where it holds it against you, and it keeps you warm as fuck inside the rain, and also keeps you from getting like soaked. Most of the rain will still go off of you. But a real poncho is a real poncho. Take them in, pull them out. They'll sweat and stuff because everything will. It sweats, it'll condense, but you can hang those on lines and like clinch them up, and then they'll be a good lean-to cover. You can tie them to stuff. They'll have eyelets. The plastic ones will too, but they will fucking fall apart. I'm telling you right now. They don't stand up under tension. They're not made out of the right stuff. The coated whatever the fuck military ponchos, they're like cheap as fuck at military surplus. That is all you need. They're the best thing. I swear to God, they are the best fucking thing if you're going to be walking around. Streets say Bear Grylls fake. I've heard that, but I don't know how fake he is with like product recommendations too. Oh shoot, you might be right. There's a little nozzle on it. Oh, you mean on the bottom of a Bic? Yeah. Products. Okay, I'm gonna look at this one last thing, and then I gotta go on to another deal. Calculated survival. Okay, so this mostly just branded stuff you can get from other places. You gotta always watch out for these. I hate fucking branding resellers that just put their logo on stuff and then sell it. This is a woolly peat bag. This is a waterproofing bag. This is not going to be anywhere near as good. You can get these from military surplus for cheap as fuck. It'll look like this. USMC woolly peter bag. No, not a woolly pulley. I need a fucking waterproofing bag. Yeah, that looks like one of them. I need the better one, though. Show me. Oh, yeah, that's a pistol bag. I need the actual waterproofing bag. Water. Ooh. Yeah. This. Okay, you need one of these. Reusability and utility is what you want. So these are the actual waterproofing bags. These are types of them. They have different ones now that are even more fucking sturdy. Do you want shit that looks anything that if you're buying stuff, go and find things that have crumples like this, because this is going to mean that you can fold it and then unfold it again, right? Anything that's made out of clear polyvinyl plastic or whatever the fuck this stuff is, all of this shit goes bad. I don't know what it is, but if you see clear plastic, there's just like a a sense that you get if you have to do this stuff, because you have to keep fucking using it, all of this shit falls apart, right? This might be like, okay, for documents one time, but one time use is no good if you're going to be doing survivalist shit, because if you're actually going to have to survive, it's going to be for longer than like 3 days. You know what I mean? So like these waterproofing bags are like hyper fucking useful. They work like crazy. So you're like, what the fuck is this? What's with the strings? So how these work, you see how this is bundled up, by the way, they get very small, very important. You usually would use this for stuff like your socks and shit, anything like cotton, other stuff that you don't want to get wet that you can bundle up. If you're trying to carry stuff that's like, you don't want it to get damaged, like documents and shit, find specific document cases. Otherwise, everything else, just no. The way that this works is you put your stuff in here and then you fold this over and over and over again until you get down to this spot. These two pieces go left and right outside, and then you twist it and you tie it. So you don't actually use the binder. People are so used to Ziploc bags. They want Ziploc bags every time, but that's not what you should do for actual waterproofing. The material itself presses against itself, and then when you close it and tie it tight, it makes its own series of seals that are hyper tight. And these things, when packed correctly, actually help you float if you fall into the water with a molly pack on. If you've packed these correctly, they'll hold air for a while, and they'll actually help you float. Yeah, PVC is degraded by UV light. Terrible outdoors material. All this dark, ugly, it'll stink. It'll have waterproof stink on it. That's how you know it's good. I don't know how to explain that better. It's probably poisonous to some degree. But when you smell these things, they've got that heady, kind of like semi-fetid rubber glove smell to them. If you've ever been around like chemical gloves, that's how you know it's good. If you open the plastic and it has like any of these things and it smells like fucking like a radio, or it smells like PVC pipe specifically, or like a Ziploc bag, it's going to be the less good kind. These things will have a they'll smell like a fishing waders, and they'll be reusable, infinitely reusable, right? Until you eventually break it. They're durable as fuck. You can sit on them. One of the best things to do with things like this, you fill it up with shit and then put a t-shirt over it and you've got a pillow. That survival items like these should have like 50. They should be, for their purpose, infinitely usable, and they should have like 6 or 7 other uses in addition to that specific use that you can also kind of get out of them. But like this kind of waterproofing bag, don't fuck with these. Anything that's plastic, that's clear, see-through, white, anything that doesn't crumple like that, anything that doesn't come and you can't see it and it's not like deformed, anything with seams that are not like heavily overlapped seams, flat seams like that it's got a limited lifespan. Doesn't mean you can't use it for like, this is 1 or 2 times, but you're not going to keep getting time out of it. They don't want to actually be survivalists. They want to be naked snake. True, pretty much. Bleed stop, all minor wounds. Stuff like this usually has a FDA cleared, safe in the wound, minor cuts to severe bleeding wounds. I mean, it's quick clot. A lot of this stuff has time limits on it, so just be wary that you might not need it. Usually, if you're going to go out and you're going to be able to even use this, go out with multiple people. Otherwise, you might not need it. Because if you have to quick clot yourself from dying, you're not going to be buying stuff from this. You don't need my advice anyway. But hopefully, you just have somebody. Usually, if you go out with a group of people, make sure one person has a medical bag that's a medical bag. $450 for this kit's too much. Calculated survival, hydration day pack. Just go get your shit from Camelback. These are Camelbacks. Camelback sells this too, and you can make sure that the internal liner is going to be functional. Flashlight, beacon, this thing, meh. Counter ring. Is that like a ranger beads? So that's a thing that you should have. If you guys never heard this, ranger beads, you can just make your own though. You can buy them. This is a land nav element. I wouldn't use one that has a ring on it. I prefer ranger beads. You just heard me say that like 5 times, but anyone that just heard me say that and they know what it is, like, yes, it's a personal abacus, a one-shot personal abacus that you use to keep track of how far you've gone. And it looks like prayer beads, basically on like a string, and you use it to count off your paces so that you know. And sometimes you might have 2 strings, or you might have one that has like a slightly more complicated deal. And you use that to keep your pacing for land navigation, for raw, like literally map and compass land nav, where you're writing it out and stuff. You know, if you're doing that, if you need like counters and shit, otherwise I don't know what the fuck you'd be using this for. But Otherwise, you better have a write in the rain book, alcohol pens, and write in the rain so that you can write when the shit's wet. That's probably a little bit better. Yeah, this is the kind of poncho I'm talking about. Don't use these. Plan to survive. Oh, that's not a passport. Just looks like an emergency poncho. I wouldn't fuck with this. Mylar. I mean, maybe it'll work. It might be one of those like things where it's actually also really like a blanket, but you don't need this. You need sleeping equipment. This has got two uses in it. You know what I mean? It's going to get obliterated. Trust me, if you don't believe me about any of this stuff, just take whatever you're wearing and walk through the woods. And I don't mean like on a trail. I mean like go to a park, find the part that really looks like it's inhospitable and you wouldn't want to walk through it, and then walk through that. Because that's what I had to do when I was in the military for like land nav and shit. Stuff like this is getting eaten alive. Ripped to pieces, 2 seconds, 5, 6 fucking walks into the brush, you're done. Now, something that's big like this in orange for signaling is actually kind of great. I wouldn't mind that. But there's a lot of other stuff that you can have because you want to maximize amount. I wouldn't take something like this. I would just have an orange poncho, like a good reusable kind. Maybe this is, but I don't think so. I don't know what that is. Folding hatchet, $650. Hatchet's already so big. I don't know what you're going to get out of a folding hatchet. This looks like something that's supposed to be underneath somebody's like cockpit in a plane. Just have a hatchet. Just go buy they're this fucking long. You know what I mean? Just go to Lowe's and buy a fucking hatchet with a wood handle or a polymer handle, and you're done. It's not going to be taller than your pack. Just put it and then put a little bit of like rubber hose on it and strap it in, and you've got a hatchet. Every Boy Scout person I've ever seen in my life, people generally, you don't want stuff that folds unless you have to have it, and usually it's something small like a knife, and it has to be like kind of like the best deal. Maybe a folding saw. Okay, yeah, sure. Folding hand saws are all right. But like a hatchet, dude, you got to beat the fuck out of it. And if you're going to put all that weight onto this spring, you're not going to get a lot of hatchet out of that hatchet compared to like a real one, and you're not saving that much space. So, get out alive, goat, based. Dude, the Bic lighter on its own is just so much more important than anything else. First aid kit and get out alive calculated survival gift bundle. I guess this is all like bandages and stuff. So they're just selling you a first aid kit. That's either an emergency whistle or maybe a flint. That's what those look like. A pool flint where it's just the flint stick and it doesn't have the thing. COVID created jackasses. God created people. Oh, what? I'm down to ruck. Are you? Leave no one behind. I guess. Oh, yeah, they're in Virginia. Is that what that is? I can't quite tell. Oh, Afghanistan. All right. Oh, it's Afghanistan. Oh my God, this is Joe Biden shit. Strength through loss, always honored, never forgotten. A tribute to badasses, the Night Witches. It might be somebody's unit or something. I don't know. There you go. Mylar emergency tube tent. They must be selling pieces of the kits that aren't put together. You can just buy this on your own. This is a once, twice use. Unless this is like a unique, get a real tent. Real tent is this big. It's that big is a real personal tent, right? I mean, watch your weight. But if you're doing a bug out bag, I mean, how fucking far are you bugging out? Do you intend to live in the Mylar tent for forever, or are you gonna like put some real shit together? Like this is good for, you know, if you're for like a boat kit, if you get stranded or something. But if you're gonna have a bug out bag, which is like I'm gonna go camping, you should have a fucking tent. Just buy a fucking tent, man. Like a Coleman pop-up tent is this big. They're that small. It's all a little kit, right? Like it is that fucking tiny. I mean, it'll all stack up, but if I have to get a tent that's this big and I know I can pull it out and take it apart, and I'm not gonna have to find stringers that are perfectly spaced for a run line and do a fucking run line every goddamn time I want to fucking stop moving. You know what I mean? And also be able to close out. I hate a lean-to. Fuck that. Big old fucking nomad. I don't know. That's like, what is this? This looks like a sacrifice knife from like, this is like your first weapon that you get in like, Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver type ass knife. Operator hats. What is that? Pathfinder V2. $450 fucking dollars. Jesus Christ. I don't know about that. Pocket chainsaw. These are okay. I've heard people like these. You can buy this everywhere. Yeah, $15. They're gonna wear you the fuck out, by the way, though. $450. What is? It's sold out, but hatchet, draw knife, and a machete. What? Well, why though? Everything. Somebody thinks they're building a whole fucking house with this goddamn thing. A draw knife is like for wood shaping, for carpentry. Like, that's you draw it like this, right? Which technically, if you think about it, like every knife is a draw knife. It's more about the handles. I mean, that's probably why this is shaped like this, so you can hold on to it. You can use it for that. I mean, whatever the fuck. Somebody might be getting it. Overwhelming demand. Please email for availability. Fuck. Blade blued 5160. Yeah, so that's a pretty good. That's real strong shit. I don't know what the fuck it just has so much going on though. You can just get like a blade. You know what I mean? Like a machete will do the same fucking thing. Like you can get a Fisker's machete. You know what I mean? How much is a Fisker's machete? Yeah, I mean like. So for $45, you can also just get a machete from Fisker's, right? So like you got this whole deal. And I know it's like polymer, but like trust me, it's fine. You know? And then you got the same deal because the draw blade, you can put your hands back here if you want. This thing's even got this. Now you got a whole fucking machete. It's definitely got a little bit more of an ergonomic handle than the other thing. And yeah, you could put like a little stick up here or something or screw something in there if you want to use it as a draw knife. And it comes with a little sheath, and it's only this expensive, $45. What kind of fucking metal is it made out of? Fast, powerful performance, 15-inch blade, hardened steel, stays sharp through every use. Doesn't even tell me what kind of fucking steel it is. I don't give a shit. It's fucking Fisker's. Man, I mean, Fisker's got all this shit. You know what I mean? You can get a fucking 22-inch machete saw, fucking 18-inch hatchet with a sheath. Like, look at that little guy. You remember what I was telling you? You don't need a fucking folding hatchet. Look, Fisker's got you covered. All they do is make fucking knives all goddamn day. It's fucking Fisker's, man. I don't know what to tell you. This is cool, but this is just also like weird. Maybe it's the best thing ever. I don't know. I'm not a survivalist. I've never survivalisted. Solar power battery bank with a fucking oh, come on now. All right, well, fair. Poncho liner, aka Wooby. I mean, yeah, never go home with that one. You don't need 3 of them. You just need the one. Also, you can get these. What is it? $45. You can get this from Army fucking resale for like $10. They might be more expensive because people like the Woobies now because everybody hears Wooby and they're like, I want one of those. It's a stinking ass fucking poncho liner blanket, but they're the best. Ha! No. Oh my God. They showed me. I found it. What is this? Stainless steel whiskey teacup. Bro. Oh my God. I'm a gentleman camper. This is all stuff for somebody that you're feeling real British. It kind of slaps, but it's also extremely fucking lame. I love it and I hate it. It's got a saucer. It comes with a fucking saucer. It's crazy. Hey, yo! All right, we found voluptuous. All right, there you go. Kicking it. Bodacious. It was bodacious. This is my fucking crew. These guys actually are in pretty decent shape, though. I'll give them that. All fucking hanging out and shit in the woods. What a bunch of goobers. Stainless steel whiskey teacup. What in the fuck? The bug out knife. This is actually one of the better knives I've seen so far. I don't know about the brawler. Yeah. Are these guys making these things on their own? The minimalist? What in the fuck is this? Is this just a wristband? Got magnets. Oh, it's got a compass. It's a little compass wristband. I mean, just get a fucking basic compass and put it in your bag. These little compasses are okay if you want to like find your way around Disney World, but if you want to shoot an azimuth and shit, you kind of do have to have like a full, like you have to get a real compass. They're not that fucking expensive, and they won't break. And you need them because the compass has multiple parts. This will show you sort of like a cardinal direction, but if you know anything about geometry, right, the azimuth that you shoot at 5 degrees is going to be considerably different at 6 degrees. And you have to be real precise. You use this little line and all these little pieces of it. Like, dude, I'm a land nav motherfucker. I mean, it's better than nothing, technically. Yeah. Assuming you can even use it correctly, you know. But I would just get a real compass. You know, if I'm going to have a bug out bag, we should put a fucking compass and a map in it of where you're going to bug out to. Aren't you going to go somewhere? Or are you just going to like Well, I have the bag now. I'm just going to jog toward the woods. I have no idea. You put together a better kit by finding some good equipment wrecks through camping YouTube and a trip to Harbor Freight. As unironically true as fuck. That's about as accurate as it gets. Yes. The tent's legit for overnight, yes. But these guys are saying, I mean, their basic bag says 3-day bug out bag. So I would assume that you're assuming it's going to be 3 days, right? Rechargeable plasma lighter. I would never. Excuse me. Waste of time. Waste of time. That's for lighting cigars and shit. Total body workout ruck backpack handle? I don't know what that means. I don't know what this is. This might be something. Other people are smarter than me. Maybe they're geniuses. I guess that's just like a pulley or something. COVID created people. I guess these are lady t-shirts? Yeah. Oh my fuck. I guess that's the lady. I like that they're all real, I guess. And then these are the knives that they sell. This one is the most legit looking knife I've seen. It's kind of kitchen knifey, but it's got a good long straight blade on it. Perfect survival camping knife. Look no further than the bug out. Made of super tough 52 100 ball bearing steel. Features a blade length of 8 3/4 inch. Overall length of 13 3/4 inch. Like a chef's knife. Weighing at 14 ounces, chop, split, and process firewood with ease. You're going to need, if you're going to do firewood with that, yeah. I'm thinking of this more for like knife reasons, which is like, you know, dressing an animal up and doing some like camp butchery if you don't have, if you have an actual fucking like a punch knife and shit, a whole dressing kit too. I mean, you're going to be bugging out, you know, camp rifle and a winch, you know, pulley for fucking kill dressing or whatever. That's a whole different thing. Or just hanging a bear bag. I'm talking the choir here. Everybody either knows more than me or not enough to even understand what the fuck I'm saying. Bug out comes with a micarta handle scales, and a lanyard hole. The blade finish is matte black powder coat, and the blade also comes with a Kydex sheath. This is like knife porn, I guess, but it's not great for me. Yeah, I think this is okay for like butchering something down. Which is what you really want the knife for, right? The hatchets for your like work, hammer cut. I wouldn't be using something like with a small blade like this for cutting like you know, firewood shavings and stuff to get that kind of going. I would always use a hatchet. I would take a hatchet over a knife first. I mean, I'll fucking it's not gonna be the easiest thing in the world, but you can fucking dress something up with a hatchet. It's gonna be a pain in the fucking ass, but you could. You can't cut stuff down with a knife like this. You just can't. It just doesn't. That's not what those are for. Otherwise, we would have knife-shaped axes. We don't have that. But yeah. Also, $260 for this. Fisker's field knife. Let's see. Somebody watch this could be losing their mind. Fisker's field knife. There you go. Ooh, SOG Pillar, USA made fixed blade. Fisker's Pro utility knife. Fixed blade with sheath, fillet. Maybe yeah, fillet. Yeah, the Fisker's fillet knives are like $16, which you'll need if you do fishing. You'll definitely need a knife for fishing, like a really solid one. Fisker's survival knife. Fisker's is such a. They're all their shit's orange too, which just kills me. See what the Fisker's version of a survival knife is, if they even have one. They probably don't even sell one. It seems to it tends to just be their hatchets and such. Machete knife, Fisker's knife. Actually, what it comes back to is a bunch of these hoary garden knives. Yeah, this thing. The machete saw tempered blade, this deal. $50 again. Right here. Standard hunting knife is kind of what you need. Hunting knife. Battling blades. Goddamn. Who knows what the fuck any of these are good for? Trail hunter. Standard K-bar. Honestly, like standard K-bar might not be too bad. I don't know who the fuck makes any of this stuff anymore. Everybody wants a big fucking Bowie knife. Why? So much goddamn knife. SOG and Kershaw. Kershaw's a solid brand. Kershaw hunting knife. Probably Gerber, Leatherman. Liner lock, tan blade, gamekeeper handle, hunting root blade. 5 best Kershaw knives. Yeah, these look like pretty bog standard folders. Yeah, I just couldn't see. I mean, if you want to have a knife that looks like really fancy, the brawler knife, I don't know what the hell. This is a Santoku chef's knife. This is actually a good cheese knife with the length of it. I'm not being like, that's actually a hard knife to make. This guy might just be making these handles. This dude just got a COVID hobby. Brawler, high carbon steel. By the way, all the high carbon steels are going to be the ones that will like rust. So you got to take good care of them. 9 ounces. If you're looking for an EDC that can pry open doors, hold a great edge, and look great while doing it, the brawler. That is such a strange. I guess it's a concealed carry dork knife. It's the best I can tell you. Undoubtedly a working man's knife. I couldn't imagine what I would use this for. I mean, it's a knife, so you always find a use for it somewhere. But gosh, that it really just looks like a short vegetable knife, or for maybe like dressing a specific type of fish. Knives have shapes for a reason, right? So like, I've used a lot of different knives for a lot of different reasons. Hello, Super Time, $2. Morak Knives is one of the best knife brands, period. Morakniv. These are super simple looking. Oh, here we go. They're probably actually solid. Like, the more complicated a knife looks, the more specific its use is. And if something's hyper complicated and it doesn't have a specific use, it's a waste. It's kind of the way to boil it down. I don't know. One of my favorite knives I've used, Air Force surplus survival knife. High carbon is a bad bob knife. Back of blade? I don't know what bob means right there. Tactical cheese knives for those 5-day picnic trips. I mean, kind of. Looks like a CX. It's very short. This thing is like this long, right? Maybe a little bit longer than my hand. Micarta is like engineered paperwood, cardboard on steroids. Oh, I know what that is. Yeah, also this has got a nice stone wash and a camouflage handle. You could legitimately, people have no idea how easy it is to drop stuff like this while you're walking in the woods, while you're looking at it, and it'll just disappear in front of you. I kind of want like that big bright Fisker's orange. Especially if you're like, oh, I've got to look for it, and then you try to look for it and then you get obliterated. Oh yeah, this seems like a company this is the shit you want. Look how simplistic it is. Do you kind of see the difference? It's not like a sexy knife, but like this is like this looks like a boat knife. If I had to guess, companion, spark, emergency. It might have a thing. This looks like that's greasy ass little tiny fish knife like this every fucking time. If it's got a sparker in the handle, it probably does. Garberg. I'm gonna open some of these up. These are nice. Yep. Yeah, this might be it. Belt loops, get you there. Survival kit for this deal. That might be a honing stick or a sparker. Look, land bushcraft. Look at these. And then these are your kitchen knives. What do we got? That's hard to see with this. You guys, too much white. Sweden. Pairing, short chef, long chef, fillet, serrated, multi-use. Probably not the best. I hate these thin serrations. Other people like them. I think they're pretty much only good for cutting like, beef roast type shit. Damn, you got the whole sharpener and shit. Laser engraving. Look at this. This motherfucker be cutting meat. That is the most human butcher I've ever seen in my life. Look how butchery he is. This dude be cutting shit. Constantly. Oh man, what a good pick, by the way. I'm just absolutely locked out today. I wanted to talk about all this stuff so much I didn't even realize. Yeah, so is that the sparker? How do you do that? Where is that in there? It's on the back of the sheath, right? Yeah, okay, so the sheath's up there. And then he's got the thing. Boom. Yeah. Nasty little survival knives. These are the best things ever, man. They're not sexy. That's the thing that sucks, but it's bright orange. You can find it. Okay, there it is. It comes out of the hilt. So that if you lose the sheath, then you have it. So this goes into the hilt. That's a striker. Big chunk of flint. The back of you just need steel. So the back of the knife and that flint will shoot a fucking spark that's huge. Like, if you've never tried to use a flint, it's actually pretty fucking easy. Except for when it's not. Most true thing I've ever said. But yeah, that is a survival knife. That is a solid little guy. It's the tininess of it's actually good too. You don't think that because it's like a bigger is better deal. But if you got to fucking like, you actually do hunt something. You bring your little fucking collapsible mini 14, put it together, and then you fucking clip a deer. These little tiny knives are going to give you a lot of fucking wiggle room to kill all that fucking skin and hair and shit away and start chopping the thing up. And it's going to be better than nothing. And you also need smaller knives like this to dress fish up. You slit them up, cut the heads off, but then, you've got to have a thin knife. If you got a real big, thick, long fucking 18-inch, like, what do you have there? Oh, I have a wood shaping knife. I brought a wood shaping knife to the woods. Like, okay. Why, Dan? What the fuck are you doing? Like, just shut up. I brought my giant fucking wood shaping knife to the woods. But then like a little guy like this, you're doing everything. You can whittle things down. Those big knives, it's going to be a pain in the fucking ass. If you want to do stuff like fix your arrows and shit like that, and you got to trim shit, a tiny little paring knife is money because it's a thumb knife. It's hard to explain if you don't know what it is. Laser engraving, descriptions, additional information. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is it. For fucking $50, $45, that is money. If it's actually a solidly crafted knife and people would stand behind it, this is this is most of what you would need. You could put this in your car, you know what I mean? And be safe. And the good thing about it is, that it's orange because you need to fucking find it. Imagine you bring one of those other knives, right, with you, and you are in a canoe, or maybe you're just going across the water, right? You could have to cross a fucking little bit of water. Your most important survival tool is a fucking knife, and you drop it, and your knife is stone washed so it doesn't reflect light as well, and it's got a fucking camouflage handle that looks like salmon skin. It's gone. You're gonna have to go and search the bottom of a fucking 4-foot deep river, while the current's moving in the cold for a fucking knife that you dropped. That's kind of the point. That's like the difference between like fucking with it and then this. Like, this is what your Boy Scoutmaster that's dead serious will pull out, and then he'll show you guys the other thing because he bought it because it looks cool. You know what I mean? But like, this is going to be like, okay, guys, this is to not die. You want this one, right? Basic, bitch, bog standard. Yes. Polymer, full tang. There you go. Done. $103. Robust, versatile wilderness knife, 3.2 millimeter thick. Full tang blade made of Swedish stainless steel. Is fire starter compatible and durable. Oh yeah, by the way, some of the steel won't actually strike the fire starters because of the stuff that's in it. Durable enough for batoning wood, while the handle provides a secure grip for all conditions. Also, yes, I don't know what that wood is. I don't know how that wood that those grips are made of will survive in the wilderness. That shitty fucking high grip. This stuff is what like bayonet handles are made out of, and they last forever. Slide down fucking mountain faces on them, and they got like maybe a scratch. While the handle provides secure grip in all conditions, reliable companion for cutting and splitting wood, making fire, building shelters. Yeah, there you go. Look, solid. You can get it in red too if you want it, so it's a little bit more seeable, or you can get it and disappears when you drop it, or completely disappears when you drop it. Done. I know it sucks because they're not as fun, but like a utility knife is for utility, and that's solid as it gets. Basic as fuck. Nice big fucking hand grip. Ba-doom. So you can kind of feel like, this isn't sexy, but you're going to get a lot of use out of it. Whereas the other knife, with its weird shapes, we're like, what in the fuck is going on here? Multifunctional kit for the mounted on the knife sheath, equipped with integrated fire starter, diamond sharpener, and reflective paracord. Well, there you go. Boom. survival accessory costs $30. So like, you know, for a fraction. I mean, we get back to this is the calculated survival thing. You kind of get what I mean? Like, yeah, this is a full tang blade. It might last and work forever, but it's this like $150 fucking thing, and it's got this gigantic fucking, like, the handle's thick too, and it's got this big flared end on it, which is cool, you know. I make sure it always has a flared end, kids. But then this big blade, and maybe it fucking slaps, but like, I can't remember any of my scout or survival knife survival manuals I've had to read in my life. They're like, hey man, make sure you have a nice big, like, wide, like a vegetable knife, you know. But it looks cool. It fucking looks cool. So I guess you get looks cool out of it. You know, it is what it is. This is probably the best one. I think it's probably because it has the most uniform length of a blade shape. You'll get a shitload of use out of this, but it is more of a chef's knife. You know what I mean? And when it comes time to cut smaller things, it might not be as easy. You get the real survival knife and the cool one for showing off because it's cool and pretty. Yes. We love best practices with Tyler Bell. I know. I'm sorry. People are like, what are you doing to help the revolution? I'm like, I don't know, but I feel like a bunch of people, if they watch my shit, they might actually know how to like live outside of the city. You know, eventually someday you may have to learn to live outside the cities. So I'm like, this is the knife you buy. This how draw range card. Do not buy this bag. Do not buy backpack without support in back.
Hope you enjoyed your time on the Westside.